Good afternoon, dear participants. Welcoming you all for the 15-day International Faculty Development Program on Innovative Teaching Pedagogy, Learning Skills, Research and Academic Publication, organized by IITM, Integrated Disaster Management, and in collaboration with State Islamic University of Madrasa, Indonesia. This event was collaborated with various colleges. It starts from Standard College, Manipur, Veeramangal College, Manipur, Nagachari College, Assam, followed by SBRTM Law College, Kadapa, and OUV, Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, Bandarwa Campus, University of Jammu, Jammu and Kashmir, and Raghunath Girls Postgraduate College, Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. And today is our 7th day, Thursday, and successfully we have completed 12 sessions so far, and today we will be having session 13 as well as session 14. And today resource person for the same. And as per the protocol, today Nakacheri College has to host the event, but they are having some technical issue from their end. Standard College will be hosting the show for today also. Over to you, Dr. Roshni Bola Devi, ma'am, the director of the Faculty Development Program and the team.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Dr. K. Rosniwala Devi, Assistant Professor, Department of Home Science, Standard College, and Faculty FDP Director of this event. So it is my great privilege to welcome you all to this 15 days International Faculty Development Program. Today is the 7th day, and we will have two sessions, session 13 and 14. Yesterday, we had an entry session. In continuation of that same resource person. Today also we will have the same resource person. I think today also will give more entries, more and more entries to the participants. So without any further delay, I would like to invite Dr. K. Sovarani Devi.
Thank you, madam.
This faculty development program to introduce to our respected resource person on the of this event. So please come to the screen. Over to you, Dr. Ani Devi.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Kasam Subarani Devi, Chemistry Department, HOD Standard College, Kongba. It is my great privilege to give our resource person introduction. Dr. Anu Ans Prayos is an academician and researcher currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Social Work at Indian Institute of Psychology and Research, IIBR. She holds MSW, MPhil, and PhD, and has extensive experience in teaching, research, academic, mentoring, and social science studies. Her academic expertise in research methodology, social work practice, qualitative and quantitative research approach, research ethics, and community-based studies. As an educator and research person, he is known for her interactive and learner-centered approach to teaching research methodology. She emphasized the importance of identifying meaningful research problems, developing clear research questions, and maintaining ethics standards in academic and social research. Her session helped participants gain clarity in designing research studies and understanding various research approaches. Our research person will be delivered the lecture on the session 13, quantitative research design and
Subbarani ma'am, kindly unmute yourself, ma'am.
Dr. Sobarani, I think your mic is in mute mode.
Yeah.
Just
Once
please
again, good
unmute
afternoon,
yourself.
everyone. This is Dr. Kaisam Subarani Devi, Chemistry Department, Standard College. It is my great privilege to give our resource portion introduction. Dr. Anu Ans Rios is an academician and researcher currently serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Social Work at Indian Institute of Psychology and
Dr.
Research.
Suvarani, sorry for interruption. Your mic is in mute.
No,
So
ma'am.
please unmute yourself.
No, I'm already unmute. My
Yes, ma'am. Now it's audible. Now audible.
Your sound is not coming.
it's not coming here again.
Audible, ma'am.
Okay.
Mm.
As an educator, our resource person, she is known as for her interactive and learner-centered approach and teaching research methodology. She emphasized the importance of identifying meaningful research problems, developing clear research caution, and maintaining ethical standards in academic and social research. Her session helped participants gain clarity in designing research studies and understanding various research approaches. Our resource person will be delivered the lecture on session 13, quantitative approach design and survey method approach, and session 14, refreshing style APA MLA Chicago and citation management tool. As a part of the 15 days international FDP on innovative teaching pedagogy, learning skill, research and academic publication, her sessions are expected to provide participants with strong foundation and knowledge and practical insight into the research and academic inquiry. Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, I will just share my screen right now. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's moving also, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So very good afternoon, 100% here, and thank you for the organizing team for giving a warm welcome to me for this session. Today, as a continuation from yesterday's sessions, we are moving to quantitative research design in session 13 and survey methods. So this session will be having topics such as research design, especially for quantitative research design, based on the two types of classification we'll be discussing, based on purpose and based on nature of the study. That means it's based on the cause and effect relationship or what we are going to test it. Then last topic will be survey research methods. So now moving to research design as a beginning. Design provides the framework for the collection and analysis of data. That means it is a kind of blueprint for a researcher to start his study. So here in this, each research design will be having a particular framework with respect to different methods and strategies can be adopted for that particular research. So for example, if it is a correlation research design, it is aligned with the number of samples, sampling method, which is apt for that thing, along with the line of analysis, what is the statistical analysis can be done like that. Similar way, if you're going with the intervention study, the framework includes how you can conduct the intervention, how you can select the sample, how you can assign the samples into different group, and what analysis can be done. So like that, every design is a framework of what can be done to answer the research question. So it acts as a blueprint of the research study, or we can say that it is the glue that holds the entire elements of the research project together. So this research design, whichever research design we are going, each research design is providing a structure for your research. So it is very important to understand what is the apt research design for the respective research question that you want to find out. So now, finding out a research design is the most important task in every researcher's initial phase, that every researchers, when they're starting with a research proposal, finding out the apt research design, which is match or which is required to find out the answer for the research question or the aim of the study, is an important step. And if that is fine, then, or if that is selected as an appropriate mode, then half of the job is done. So then it's easy for you to figure out what are the methods you can fit it into each level, and how you can make stronger your proposal with a strong design and methodological framework. And finally, when you are making or conducting studies as per the design protocol, your data and the process will be more structured, and which will be bias free also. So that is the importance of deciding appropriate research design in any study. Quantitative research design, quantitative study, there are a number of research design. Qualitative, there are a number of research design, and mixed method, there is a number of research design. But here we are going to discuss with the quantitative research design in detail. So now, in my session, I'm just going to introduce two types of classification. First classification is based on research design by purpose of the study. Yesterday's class, we discussed three major purpose of research: exploratory, explanatory, and descriptive purpose. So based on that purpose, we can classify the entire research. We can classify the research design. And again, if you're going with this classification, here it is including quantitative, qualitative, and mixed methods. So this classification is not just alone for the quantitative study. It is an overall classification, and based on the purpose, what as a researcher, what I want to find out. Am I going to explore something, or am I going to describe some phenomena, or am I going to diagnostic some particular things, or am I going to explain something? Based on that purpose, which I am coming up with my topic, I had to choose the research design. So it can be quantitative or qualitative or mixed method. Fine. The next classification is exclusively meant for the quantitative study. But in this also, we'll be able to see a number of research study which is in the both classification. So if you're going with the first one, based on the purpose of study, its a design will be exploratory research design. There, the purpose of the research will be exploring which is not known. That itself is indicating most of the studies comes under, or most of the designs comes under this particular purpose will be qualitative in nature. So yeah, usually when we are going to conduct a study and we know that I think there is no much evidences or no much information available, or the area is underexplored, then our first priority is to explore what is happening in that particular area. So for that, qualitative study is the best method. In that case, we can go with the exploratory research design. So here, in this particular design, the researcher will explore a topic or idea or a particular subject or an area of social life or a social phenomena in detail. For that, you can conduct interviews, focus group interview, or observations, or any other suitable method, and get maximum information, in-depth qualitative informations, which will help the researchers to find out what is exactly existing in that area. It is usually conducted to study the problem that has not been clearly defined yet. So whenever you are coming up with an area which is not studied much, or which is not defined properly, which is not explored much, then you can think about a qualitative study with the exploratory research design to reveal or to identify those unidentified matters. It is essential social science research because the research is breaking new ground and yield new insights into the topics. For example, when the AI is invented or AI is coming into the mainstream of technology, then initially there is very less information about that thing, how it is affecting the social life and all those things. So that particular time period, or immediately after that thing, we can use qualitative study with the exploratory method and get more insights, more information about that thing and what are the areas it is going to affect with the AI intervention. So that's one example. So something which is newly happening and which doesn't know how it is impacting the life, then we can think about, or some for example, some disaster happened and then how it is impacted the people's life. So it is immediately after that disaster thing, we can conduct an exploratory study with the people who are faced that particular situations, to know their experiences, how they come across, how they face that challenges, how they literally come out from the trauma. All those things we can explore using the exploratory research design. In this, we will be using, and again, this will be mainly connecting with the grounded theory paradigm in the qualitative research study. And unstructured interview will be the most popular primary data collection method with the exploratory studies. Then the types of that particular designs include survey of concerning literature, that is based on the secondary source of information. If it is a primary source of information, it will be qualitative research with the exploratory method. Now moving to the second type of research design based on the purpose of study, it's descriptive or diagnostic research design. So purpose of this particular kind of research will be describing the characteristics of the population, describing the phenomena in detail, to find out the prevalence of one particular social issues, or to find out the extent of the issues happen in a society, extent of impact caused by a particular social issue, like that. So it's all related to with the numbers in terms of frequency, percentage, all those things. So here, such study require a rigid design, but in the case of previous exploratory research design, we don't want that much rigid structural framework, because always qualitative research is not a rigid one. It should be a flexible one, otherwise it is not possible to conduct. Compared to that, descriptive research design will be a very tough and rigid design, and here descriptive research focus on the characteristics of individuals or groups, while diagnostic assess the frequency and association of a phenomenon. So if you want to find out the nature of a group of population, then we will call that particular study or design will be descriptive research design. But instead of that, if you want to find out the prevalence rate of some particular social issues or health issues among a group of people, then we will be going with the diagnostic research design. Both are same in nature. Both we will be using descriptive statistics, and the base for such descriptive research design will be the findings from the exploratory research. So basically, the qualitative research which is incorporating or which is done based on the exploratory research design will be the framework or ground knowledge or base knowledge for proposing a new descriptive research design, where whatever we explored in the qualitative research will be described in terms of number, how much it is. In exploratory study, we will be discussing what are the things happen and how is happening, all those things. When it comes to descriptive, those same thing we will talk in terms of number. How many? What is the number of people affected, or what is the prevalence of a particular issues? That means whichever we explored in the previous design, we will be using that base information and trying to get more quantified information in terms of frequency and percentage using the descriptive study. The major descriptive studies are cross-sectional studies. It involves sampling the population at a particular point point of time. That means if I am going with a cross-sectional study right now, I will conduct the study data collection among a group of people at a particular point of time. It will not be long-lasting for a period of time. So at this particular point of time, what is the information? So that is a basic idea of cross-sectional studies. Then longitudinal studies, it's the opposite to cross-sectional studies, where in cross-sectional studies, we are collecting data from a group of people at a particular point of time. While in longitudinal studies, we will be collecting data from samples over a period of time. That means from this year to another 2 year or 3 year or after 3 years again. So that means the study is a long-term perspective. We need to find out what is happening among that particular group of people at different stages of their life. There are different longitudinal designs also, but overall, the descriptive research designs can be classified into either cross-sectional or longitudinal studies. Now moving to the next set of design, that means the last third set of design based on the purpose of the study is explanatory or causal research design. Here the purpose of the research will be explanation. Experimental research tests causal relationship between variables employing structured methods and control procedures. So here, when we are going with the explanatory research design, most of the cases we are going with the different types of experimental research design. So there, using the appropriate experimental research design, the researcher will be able to test the causal relationship between variables, and also he can check the effect of interventions by considering control and experimental group. Different designs are there. So with those kind of experimental research study or explanatory research, causal research design, the researcher will be able to give the answer for why it is happening, what is the relation, and how these variables are influencing each other, and why it is happening. That answer can be easily identified by the explanatory method of studies. The types of explanatory research designs are pre-experimental research design, true experimental research design, quasi-experimental are there, statistical designs are there. We will discuss those things in detail in the coming classification. So this is the first set of classification. That means classification of research design based on the purpose of the study, which starting with the exploratory research design. The purpose, if the purpose is description, the research design will be descriptive or diagnostic in nature. Then if the purpose is explanation, the research design will be explanatory or causal research design. Then now we will be moving to the another set of classification or another way of classifying research design based on the to assess cause and effect relationship. So here we are literally going with the quantitative study mainly. So two major classification based on the nature of the relationship or assess cause and effect relation between variables. The first design will be experimental research design, and second one will be non-experimental research design. So we'll be looking at the experimental research design in detail first. Experimental design is a structured approach to conducting specific research where a researcher manipulates one or more independent variables to measure their effect on a dependent variable. So in this design, we'll be having independent variables and dependent variables. And this will be checking whether any differences in the dependent variable with the influence of independent variable, where the researcher is manipulating the independent variable to a certain level, certain way. So that kind of studies is known as experimental design. Primary goal of experimental design is to establish a clear cause and effect relationship. Why this variables are related, how it is related, and why it is related. That cause and effect. If one variable is making one variable is introducing, what change will be happening with the other variable. So, or one variable's influence cause what change in the other variable. When one variable is controlling, what change is happening with the other variable. So like that, one or two independent variables or more than that, how it is influencing influencing on the dependent variables. So that relationship we'll be able to establish using the experimental resource design. And in this thing, we can see that the experimental resource design, when the researcher is incorporating into the research study, it has to go with the certain principles, and it helps to minimize the biases and controlling for outside factors. So when we're looking into one independent variable and one dependent variable, and how this one independent variable is causing a change on the dependent variable, the settings, the researcher will try to control other extraneous factors. Any other factor that can be make a influence on the dependent variable will be controlled. So that is the main principle of experimental research design, where the researcher will be able to control certain other variables which may have some kind of influence on this particular cause and effect relationship between independent and dependent variable. So this is a rough idea about the experimental research design and the principles of experimental research design. There are three main principles of experimental research design, and it is required to followed by the researcher if you are following an experimental research design. There will be variations in this particular principles. Based on that variations, further classification of experimental research design we can see. Principle of replication is the first principle of experimental research design. It means that experiment or intervention. In every experimental research design, there will be a component called either experiment or intervention or treatment. Different researchers will be using any of this terminology, either as an experiment or intervention or a treatment. No matter whatever it is, whatever way it is called, that intervention or experiment or treatment can be repeated with the same results to verify the findings. That is the principle of replication. That means if a researcher is repeating the same experiment with a similar kind of group, the results will be same. So that is the principle of replication. That way you need to frame your experiment or intervention or treatment. Then the same experiment or intervention treatment should be able to applied in many experimental units, other units also, to increase statistical accuracy. It should be able to replicate it in the same group many times. At the same time, it should be able to apply it in the similar experimental units, and it could be able to or lead to increase statistical accuracy. That is about the first principle. Second one is randomization. So here, when we are discussing about randomization concept, it is connected to the selection of samples and assigning samples into different groups. In experimental study, we may be having control and experimental groups. Certain designs, type of experimental designs may not be having one group. Only one group will be there. But majority of the experimental research design will be having two groups minimum. One is control and one is experimental in nature. So what is the difference between these two means? Control group, where the researcher is not giving any intervention, and the experimental group, the researcher will be giving an intervention, and then will be comparing the effect of the dependent variable or difference of dependent variable between the two groups. So that is a concept of bringing control and experimental group in experimental research design. So in connection to that, the sample selection and assigning samples to both group should be random in nature. That is the principle of randomization. That means every unit or every samples should be have an equal chance to select into or assign into both group. There should not be any biases in selection of the samples as well as the assigning samples into two groups. Ensure the chances of fair representation in each group for the experimental study, and eliminate any kind of, it helps to eliminate biases and ensure the groups are comparable between with respect to that dependent variable and on the basis of the intervention or treatment. Then the third principle is on locus of principle of locus of local control. It is used to measure the variability due to extraneous factors. So that means research design will be experimental research design will be help the researchers to control the role of extraneous factors in a particular situations. Hence, there should be a control, local control on the other factors which can be intervened in the relationship between the IV and DV in the experimental study. Keeping all other environmental or subject variables constant so that any change in the dependent variable can only be attributed to the independent variable. So that means that is the main purpose of local control or following the principle of local control. When the researcher is controlling other environmental or subject related variables or any kind of extraneous variables, and then conducting the intervention and testing the effectiveness of that in the particular group, it is purely or clearly able to say that thing the change in the dependent variable is extremely or exclusively happening based on the nature of the intervention. It is not because of any other factor, because we are controlling all other factors. So in an experimental study, as much as possible, these three principles has to be followed. There will be slight variations in the level of certain principles, and based on that, further designs are developed into the experimental study. Now, looking at the components of experimental research design, or when we are looking at, when we are thinking about the experimental research design, certain terminology we need to be very familiar. First one is random assignment, which I have already explained. Assigning cases or samples to groups, control and experimental groups based on chance, and it should be free from bias. Then the treatment or independent variable. Intervention delivered to one group of participants is known as treatment or intervention or experiments in experimental research design, which is equal to the independent nature of the independent variable. Then dependent variable, what is the outcome variable that is studying in that particular research is known as dependent variable. That means with the intervention, which variable is changing among the population or sample, that is known as dependent variable. Then pre-test measurement of the dependent variable, that means it can be a scale or it can be a questionnaire or whichever way we are measuring the dependent variable before the treatment or intervention is known as pre-test, and using the same tool after the interventions we'll be taking another set of measurement on the same dependent variable, that will be known as post-test. So the two terminology, pre-test and post-test, we are normally using in the experimental research design. Then another two terminology or components of experimental research designs are experimental group and control group. Participants receiving the treatment will be known as experimental group, and participants not receiving the treatment will be known as control group. Then double-blind experiment is another component, an experiment where neither participants nor experimenters know who is in the experimental or control group. In normal case, the researcher will be knowing that thing, which is the experimental group and which is the control group. But in double-blind experiment, both the researcher and participant doesn't know which group is considering as the experimental or control group. Now, moving to the classification, sub-classification of experimental research design, it includes four major classification. Pre-experimental research designs are there, true experimental research designs are there, quasi-experimental research designs are there, statistical designs are there. Under each one, again, sub-classification, kindly excuse, I'm just getting a call, I'll attend and come back. Okay, really sorry for the interruptions. So, while discussing experimental research design, the four classifications there: pre-experimental, true experimental, quasi-experimental, and statistical. Under each one, we'll be able to see a number of other types also that we will discuss in the next slides. Okay, so coming to the first type of experimental research design, that is pre-experimental design. This design is characterized by lack of control over internal and external validity, and they may have two or more groups but do not utilize random assignment. So this talks about this particular design is not exactly having all the principles of the experimental designs or a true experimental design. It lacks some aspect. So it lacks external and internal validity, and that means the control local principle of local control is less in this particular design, as well as the random assignment of sample into groups also not mandatory here, but all other cases will be considering. So the major types of experimental designs are one-shot case study, and second one is one group pre-test post-test design, and third one is static group comparison. So here one-shot case study is a type where researcher measures a single group of subjects on a dependent variable following the treatment or intervention. That means here in this case, we'll be having only one group, and that group will be having intervention, and we will be measuring the posters, and then we'll be seeing how it is influencing. So it has only one group and treatment and posters. That means it doesn't have a control group and it doesn't have a pre-test also, which is also known as one group post-test only design. So here, there is no point of thinking about random assignment, because random assignment of sample into two groups, because only one group is there and pretest is not there, and the control on other extraneous factor also not that much strong with the other designs. Then one group pretest post-test design, it has one group, it has a pre-test, it has a treatment and a post-test. That means, again, similar to one-shot case study, only one group is there, but that group is measured twice on the dependent variable using a pre-test and post-test, which is happening before and after the treatment. And it lacks control groups and random assignment again. In this design, the researcher assesses the one group before and after the intervention of treatment, and also known as before and after without control group design. Then the third design under pre-experimental design is static group comparison. It has both experimental and control group without any pre-test. It has only post-test. It is also known as after only with control group design, or post-test only non-equivalent group design. So in this, as a difference from the previous two, both experimental and control group is there. But both will be not undergoing the pre-test, only having treatment and the post-test. That is the difference from the previous two with the third one. It is also known as after only with control group design, or post-test only non-equivalent group design. So if I'm just segregating all, demarking all three clearly. First two are having only one group, and first one is having one-shot case study is having one treatment and one post-test. But in second one, it has pre-test, treatment, and post-test. When it comes to third one, static group comparison, it has both experimental and control group, but both doesn't have the pre-test component. Both have only treatment and the post-test. So this is the major classification of pre-experimental research design. Now moving to the next type of experimental research design, that is classical or true experimental research design, which is also called randomized experiment or randomized control trial, RCT. Here all the principles what we have mentioned in the beginning will be strictly adhering. It has random assignment, it has experimental and control group. Experimental groups receives the experimental or treatment or intervention, and it will be based on the all designs are the variations on the classical experimental designs. So this the way it is implementing will be having a difference in the subtypes of the classical experimental design, but it has following the principle of replication, principle of randomization, and principle of local control by providing both control and or considering both control and experimental group in the design. That's sub-classification of the classical or true experimental research design are post-test only control group design. Here samples are randomly assigned to experimental and control groups. Both groups are there and samples will be assigned randomly to both groups. And the experimental group is exposed to the treatment, and then both experimental and control groups are measured. But only one measurement, that means only post-test will be taken in this particular case. When it comes to pre-test, post-test control group design, again, there will be two groups, experimental and control group, and pre-test will be done on the dependent variable in both experimental and control groups. Then intervention will be given only to the experimental group, and then post-test measures will be taken again from both group. And then we'll be comparing the pre and post measure in the control group, pre and post measure within the experimental group, and the post measures differences between the experimental and control group after the intervention. So it is a complete comparison of two groups before and after an intervention. That means pre and post test on the dependent variable, and the intervention will be given only to one group. So that is a most accurate, most appropriate design in the experimental research cases. Then Solemn for group design, it is an advanced mode of pre-test and post-test control group design. Here, this is developed to address the issue of pre-test effect. In this design, there are 4 groups. That means 2 control groups and 2 experimental group. So in the previous design, it is talks about 1 control and 1 experimental group, but compared to that, in Solemn for group design, there will be 2 control group and 2 experimental group. And samples will be again randomly assigned to the 2 experimental and 2 control groups. Pre-test measures will be taken from one of the experimental group and one of the control groups. Both experimental groups are then exposed to treatment. Afterwards, post-test measures will be taken from both experimental and control group. A total of 6 measurements will be taken. This design will be aimed to account for pre-testing biases and pre-test manipulation interaction biases. That means when we are conducting the pre-test on a group and after the intervention of post-test, we are using the same scales or questionnaire. So the participants are quite familiar with questionnaire. Maybe chance of the familiarity of pre-test onto the post-test measures. In order to avoid that, will it be a matter for getting better score in the post-test? To know that thing, we will keep 1 control and 1 experimental group, which is not undergoing the pre-test, and 1 control and 1 experimental group will be undergoing the pre-test, and then both experimental group will be getting the treatment or intervention. After the treatment and intervention, all 4 groups will be taken with the post-test measures. So in that case, 1 experimental group and 1 control group, we have only post-test measures. So there, the first time they are measuring on the particular dependent variable using the same scale. So that comparison between the groups which doesn't have the pretest to the groups which have the pretest will be giving a idea on whether the pretest bias or whether the pretesting will be having an influence on filling the or measuring the post-test among the same samples. So it's an advanced experimental research design. Now, moving to the next type of experimental research design, that is quasi-experimental design. It helps the researcher to test the causal relationship in a variety of situations where the true experimental and pre-experimental designs are difficult to inappropriate. All the times, there should be a certain criteria, conditions to conduct the pre-experimental and true experimental research design. We need to ensure the samples are selected and over the period, that means from post selection to the last post period, the sample should be stay back. It will take time, intervention will take time. There are a lot of practical difficulties. So when those practical difficulties are more and not possible to apply all these principles of experimental research design in real, we can go with the quasi-experimental designs, which is slightly deviating from the experimental method. They are called quasi because they are variations on the classical experimental design, and the researcher has less control over the independent variable than in the classical design. In this case, in pre-experiment or experimental research design, researcher will be having a full control on the independent variable, but here that means intervention will be decided and developed by the researcher, and it will be implemented by the researcher or his team. So that means he has a full control on that thing. He is manipulating that particular variable. But in the case of quasi-experimental, the researcher has less control on the independent variable or treatment. The design may not be fulfill all of the internal validity requirements as compared to true experimental research design. There are two major types of quasi-experimental. One is time series design and one is multiple time series design. In time series design, there are several tests with one intervention on one group over a period of time. That means here is you can see that thing Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, 5, Y5. Then into that X is the treatment. Then Y6, Y7, Y8, Y9, Y10, where Y1 to Y10 is the test and X is the intervention. When a comparison group is not available for assessing the cause-effect relationship, this design can be used. That means some case it's very difficult to find out a control group or a comparison group. We have only one group. In that case, we can go with this particular mode of design. Pre-test and post-test measures are taken a number of times before and after the introduction of the stimulus or intervention. It is also known as interrupted time series design. And the multiple time series designs is including or both experimental group and non-equivalent control group are measured at multiple points in time before and after intervention. So here, the difference between time series design to multiple time series design, here we will be having or will be possible to take the experimental and control group also. And in both group, we will be having multiple times of measurement, and then one intervention will be there. Intervention is introduced only to the experimental group in this case, and it lacks randomization. So the principle of randomization will be lacking in this particular designs. Now, moving to the experimental research design classification, statistical design. These designs are a collection of basic experimental designs that offer researchers the ability to statistically control and analyze external variables. Here, statistical control uses various sophisticated statistical techniques to exclude the influence of extraneous variables from an analysis. That means we can use the control variables, or we can use certain methods as ANCOVA or MANCOVA, something like that, to control the effect of extraneous variables or similar techniques, and then we can run the experimental study. The most commonly used statistical research designs are the randomized block design, the Latin square design, and the factorial designs. The first two designs offer the following, all three designs offer the following advantages, like the effects of multiple independent variables on the dependent variables can be measured. That means in this case, you'll be having multiple independent variables. In all this statistical design, instead of one independent variable, as in the case of experimental research design, other experimental research design as an intervention or treatment, here we can have multiple independent variable, but which will not be as similar to an intervention. It will be something like a normal independent variable condition already existing. Specific extraneous variables can be statistically controlled. Certain variables can be controlled by keeping the effect constant, and each test unit can be measured more than once with this economically efficient design. The factorial designs can be used two or more independent variables in a combination mode, and it gives the interaction effect also. What is the interaction effect of variable 1, independent IV1 and IV2 on dependent variable? Or IV1, IV2, IV3, three variables combination, its main effects and interaction effect. When these three are joined together, what change it causes to the dependent variable among the populations. Like that, factorial designs will give the results such as main effect of each variable, independent variable onto the dependent variable, as well as the interaction effect of each or the IVs, all IVs considered in the design onto the dependent variable. The treatment or manipulation is not each independent variable, rather it is a combination of categories. So there we don't have a treatment as it is. Instead of that, we will be having multiple independent variable, and based on the multiple independent variable, we'll be having number of categories that we will be comparing it. For example, we can consider gender and socio-economic status as a independent variable, which influencing the depression. For example, depression among the young adults. In that case, we'll be having male, female as two categories for gender. Then socioeconomic status can be lower, middle, and upper. That means male poor class people, female poor class people, or poor like that. We'll be having multiple combination of categories. That categories, within that categories, how the depression score is different. That way we can find out. So that is the one purpose of incorporating factorial designs into the research strategy, where we are having multiple independent variable, and to know how these multiple independent variables are acting together and contributing to some changes to the dependent variable. Now, the next set of classification under the second classification is non-experimental research design. So as of now, we have discussed only the experimental research design, and which including, if I'm just repeating, experimental research designs are classified into four categories: pre-experimental, true experimental, quasi-experimental, and statistical. Under each, there are three separate designs: one-shot case study, one group pre-test post-test, static group design for pre-experimental, then pre-test post-test control group, post-test only control group, solemn group, for group designed for true experimental. Quasi-experimental comes including time series and multiple time series, statistical designs including randomized block, Latin square, and factorial design. After this, the next major classification of research design is non-experimental research design. So this non-experimental research design is a method where researchers observe and analyze phenomena exactly as they naturally occur, without introducing any kind of intervention or manipulating variables. So in this case, we will not be going to give an intervention and test its effectiveness, or we will not be manipulating any of the variables as it is occurred in the conditions. So we will take as it is, and then we will find out what is exactly happening. So wherever we are not able to go with the intervention study, or if we want to study about a particular social phenomena as it is going on, then we can go with the non-experimental research design. It is highly useful when experimentation is impossible, unethical, or when the goal is to observe the real world environments. So three conditions mentioned: either experimentation is impossible or unethical in nature. The third one is the goal of the research study is to observe the real world phenomena or environment as it is happening. Then we can go with the non-experimental research design. Here, first type is longitudinal studies. This classification we have slightly discussed in the previous classification. Same thing, I'm repeating it. Under non-experimental research design, first classification is longitudinal studies. In this design, the researcher observes the same phenomena over an extended period of time. This study used to examine the changes in a particular phenomena over the period of time among the same population over different set of populations. Many field research projects are longitudinal studies. If you are looking at the community development projects and its effectiveness on the population or the community where the project is implementing, longitudinal studies are more appropriate, as we need to see because we need to see the changes over the in the community over the period of time when the project is going on. So that kind of observation, continuous observation, continuous data collection is happening at different point of time for a long over the altogether there will be a longer period of time will be considered for the data collection, and this gives a clear picture about how the community transits from one phase to another phase. So that is a one major purpose. Many field research projects are longitudinal in nature. It is a relatively little used design in social research due to the time and cost involved. As the name indicating or as the characteristics indicating, it is required, this design required a good amount of time. Good amount of time means it will be spread minimum some years, actually 2 years to 3 years, something like that, or more than that. In that case, the cost and time involved to conduct that study and manage the resource, the different resources required for the study will be completely different. The design will be more difficult to quantitative, difficult in quantitative nature, but we can still use the quantitative methods also, but it is quite difficult in nature. We can go with the qualitative approach with the longitudinal study also. That is also possible. But in quantitative type, or if you're going with the quantitative study, conducting longitudinal study will be quite difficult in nature because it requires more human beings, human capitals, as well as time and cost. The three types of longitudinal studies are under the longitudinal research design. There are three different studies: trend analysis, cohort studies, panel studies. Trend studies examines changes within a population over a period of time and examine one or more given characteristics of the population. So here, on the same population, what is the change happening over the period of time? So there is no, the people will not be having a difference, or different people will not be considered for the study. Cohort study, the researcher examines specific subpopulation or cohorts as their changes over a period of time. Typically, cohort is an age group such as people born during a particular period or year, or people who got married during a particular period. So that means the research will be conducting over a period of time among Gen Z population or the millennial population, like that, based on the age or based on the year they're born or based on the year they married or something similar to that thing. We are considering cohort, a group of people, and then over a period of time we are studying them. It's not for the entire group of people. Panel data can be collected from different members in each set of observation. That means if you're looking at different cohort, each cohort should be having independent samples for giving the data. Panel studies examine the same set of people at each time in a particular population over a period of time. That means here we are completely going with the same set of people. Even we will not be able to change the people also as much as possible. Same group of people should be there over a period of time as part of the project. And their data will be collected in multiple times over the period of time. During the entire period, the study same samples were studied in each phase, and data collected from the same set of people at several points in a time. So that is a main difference between trend analysis cohort studies with panel studies. Now, moving to non-experimental research design, the second category, cross-sectional studies, which include cross-sectional studies involves observation of a sample or cross-section of a population or phenomena that are made at one point of time. So it is opposite to longitudinal study. Longitudinal study is meant for over the period of time, but cross-sectional studies involves observation of a group of sample or a cross-section of a population or a phenomena at a particular point of time. It is not meant for over the period of time. Cross-sectional research design involves the collection of data on more than one case at a single point in time in order to collect a body of quantitative or quantifiable data in connection with two or more variables, which are then examined to detect patterns of association. That means here we'll be going completely quantitative mode and then involving data collection at one point of time among a group of people, and there through that study we'll be studying the relation between variables or how the variables are associated or patterns are associated, a pattern of associations existing between the variables. That is examined in the cross-sectional study. Case study design is mainly connecting to qualitative research design, but it's considered as a one of the non-experimental research design, and it can be used in quantitative study also. But here, case study involves the detailed and intensive analysis of a single case. That case can be an individual, or a family, or a group, or a community, institution, organization, or a project also. So, in that, sometimes qualitative data will be more suitable, sometimes quantitative data will be useful. But sample will be one case. It can be either an individual or a family or a community or an organization, anything it can be. Exploring and analyzing the life of a single case, that is any single social unit mentioned above, will be the main focus of case study design. Then observational research design is a next type of non-experimental research design. Here, research is non-experimental because it focuses on making observations of behavior in a natural or laboratory settings without manipulating anything. So, as and when the things are happening, or as and when the population is living in their natural setting, we will be observing their lifestyles and their behaviors, their pattern of association, whatever is the focus of the study, we will be observing and study. So that kind of study is known as observational research design, which again more with the qualitative approach. Then causal comparative research design or ex post facto design identifies potential cause and effect relationship by comparing the pre-existing group. The event or condition has already occurred. In this case, we will not be having a clear control and experimental group. Instead of that, before occurring a situations, there are the people who are not exposed to a particular condition will be there in one group, and people who are exposed to a natural conditions will be there in another group, and will be doing a cause and comparative. That particular event or phenomena the one group is exposed made any kind of influence on the people's life. That is the essence of, or that is the purpose of using causal comparative design. Here, for example, if there is a project, is community development project is going on. So similar, two similar community, one community is undergoing a project and one community is not exposed to that project. And then in that case, we can consider the community which is not undergoing that project and their lifestyle, and community undergoing the project and their lifestyle. It's a comparative analysis. So you'll take the data from both group at a particular point of time and then analyze it. It can be a social issue happen in a particular community also, and people who are exposed to that social issue and people who are not exposed to that social issue. So two groups will be able to get it. And another case is that people who are using a particular technology and not using a particular technology. It can be again go with the causal comparative approach. Then in this design, based on the observations or based on the data collected from both groups, one group is not exposed to a condition and one natural condition, one group is exposed to a natural condition. Here, the difference from the experimental research design is that the condition what I am mentioning here is not made by the researcher. It is something happened already. So in that case, the researcher should find out people who exposed to that condition and people who are not exposed to that condition, and then compare those two groups. That is a essence, basic idea about the causal comparative design. But in experimental research design, the condition or intervention or treatment which is made by the researcher or developed by the researcher, and he will be implementing or conducting that experiment into the group, and one group is not having that group and comparing it. So that is a major difference between causal comparative and the experimental research design. Correlation research design is the next set of design, comes under non-experimental studies, which involves measuring two variables of interest with a minimal control on the extraneous variables and assess how these two variables are related each other. It is a non-experimental, purely a non-experimental, where the researcher is not making any kind of intervention or making any manipulations on the variables also, not trying to control the extraneous factor also. He will be studying two variables at a particular among a group of people and see how these variables are related. Then the aim of this particular design is to determine the extent of relationship between variables, what kind of direction of relation, whether the variables are related negatively or positively, and the relationship strength is high, poor, or average, using particular statistical analysis. And also we can use this design to identify the prediction of one variable to the other variable. How much change will be caused by change in one predictor variable to the criterion outcome variable, dependent variable. That also can be found out using the correlation research design. Now, in this particular design, the researcher is not concentrated or focused on the process of establishing any causation, or cause and effect is not a consideration in the correlation research design. He will be just testing whether the variables are related to each other, how it is related, whether it's a positive or negative, and how much it is related, whether it can be predicted or not. Only that much is happening. But why that relationship existing, or further on the reasons of that relationship, or nothing is considering in this particular design. If that required, it should be again going to a comparative research design. Now moving to the next survey method, survey research method. It is the last topic given in the particular broad program schedule. Actually, this term is using in different place as a design or as a method or as a tool. Still, there are people who use or consider this as a design. Actually, survey research design, rather than it's a design, it is a method of data collection. It is not a design exactly, but those who are going with the non-experimental research, non-experimental quantitative research using interview or a questionnaire method will be saying that thing it's a survey research method also. Or we can say that thing in a larger perspective, the entire population survey will be conducted to all the samples in the group of people. It's a method of data collection. Through survey, we can get the quantitative information. Through survey, we can get the qualitative information. It's a method of data collection actually, not a design as it is. But still, this word is using in different place to denote as a design also. But in that case, please understand that thing, those survey, the wherever they are mentioning survey research design, it is purely connected to the non-experimental, correlational or comparative or longitudinal or cross-sectional studies. So basically, survey research design is a quantitative method. The term is we can use to denote the quantitative methods that used to collect data from a sample of individuals through structured questionnaire or interviews, either through questionnaire method or through interview method. What we are going to collect, or how we are collecting data, that process or method is known as survey method. It can be, the primary purpose of the survey method is to gather self-reported information about a population or attitude, a population's attitude, opinions, behaviors, or characteristics, which allowing the researchers to generalize the findings to a broader group. So here, when we are going with the survey method, the main focus is to gather data from more samples. So wherever we need to get a large sample to understand the nature of the variables and the relation between the variables, then we can adopt survey as a method of data collection. In that, we can use the specified tools, semi-structured or semi-structured questionnaires, or psychometric scales, or pen and the different projective techniques, or we can use it. And that using that tool, either the researcher can be conduct interview. That means the researcher will interview the participants using that tool and get the information through that process, or the researcher can give the form to, or the question, the complete tool to the participant and ask them to fill it. That is known as questionnaire method. Then all these things can be possible either online or pen and pencil, or a direct in-person face-to-face interview. So this is all about the method of data collection, how the researcher is going to collect data from a large number of samples using a specified tools for data collection, such as questionnaires or scales or projective techniques, and then by applying online or direct face-to-face or pen and pencil method of interview or questionnaire. So this is all about the survey research methods. Now, I know the first session I just started quite fastly because the next session requires more time. The referencing style and citation management based on APA MLA in Chicago. So I think with 1 hour 15 minutes, I just wrapped the first session to cover the quantitative, mainly the quantitative research design. Now we can have the discussion on this particular topic, and then we can have a break. After that, we can start with the session 14, which requires more than around 2 hours completely. So over to the organizing team, and the discussion is open to the forum.
Thank you very much, Madam, for sharing such a wonderful session on this topic. This is very needed in nowadays because it's everything is depend on research. So we need to know more about these research methods. So I hope that I hope all the participants will get more understanding from this deliberation. So, Madam has given such a beautiful, wonderful sharing to us about the importance of qualitative research in exploring human experience, opinions, and behavior in depth, and also for obtaining reliable and meaningful findings, and also discuss about the survey research method which used to collect the data through questionnaire, interview, and observation. So thank you very much, Madam. So please, all the participants, the floor is open. If you want to ask any query or any clarification or any doubt, please, floor is open. You can ask any query or you can clarify your doubt. All the participants are requested to clarify your doubt. If you are inconvenient, you can put your query in the chat box and you can raise your hand. Please, floor is open. Am I audible?
If I'm conducting a longitudinal study, will my research design come under descriptive research or non-experimental? You can simply write non-experimental research design with a longitudinal approach. It has the descriptive elements also. Because it is not possible for anyone to say whether the research is falling under particular design, because different classifications are there. So I have explained two types of classification. One is based on the purpose. If you are classifying or defining your proposal based on the nature of the purpose of your study, then it could be descriptive research design. If your aim is to describe the phenomena in detail. But the same thing can be adopted longitudinal study also. So it's up to you whether you want to write a non-experimental longitudinal study will be using, or a non-experimental descriptive research design with a non-experimental longitudinal approach will be adopted. Both are actually same. You are clubbing the purpose designs based on the purpose as well as the nature of the study. So usually in that case, we'll be writing non-experimental longitudinal study, which is quite self-explanatory, and which indicate that thing based on the research question, whether it is having a descriptive purpose or a exploratory purpose. It is more connected to the descriptive research design also. But it's all you need to decide according to the university recommend. If the university suggests to follow certain books, then you need to go according to that. So this depends upon the university guidelines completely. Both are correct. Anyone else has any queries? Ma'am, I think, Roshni ma'am, I think there is no other messages or doubts happening right now. So in
Yes,
that
yes.
case, can I suggest to give a break right now? 15 minutes break?
Yeah, we'll have 50 minutes break. After that,
Break.
you can
After
start
that, the
your
next
another
session.
session. Yeah.
Yes, next session, which requires more time.
Now it's
3:15, ma'am.
3:15. Then okay, we'll start at
30?
3:35.
3:30, 3:35 or 3:30 we can start, ma'am.
Okay, all the participants for just now, that we will have break for 15 minutes. So we will
Yeah,
start again at 3:30. Is it okay,
5.
ma'am?
I'm
3:35,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, 3:35, fine, ma'am. Fine, sir, no issue.
Okay.
Dear participants, the next session is a lengthy session, so we are giving you break now itself.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am don't want to cut the session again and again. So the upcoming session will be for more than 2 hours. So we are going for a break now itself. So kindly assemble by 3:35. I will repeat. Session 14 will start by 3:35. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Dear participants, welcoming you all for the session 14. Over to you, Dr. Roshni Bala Devi, ma'am. Dr. Anu, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I warmly welcome. Please wait for 1 minute.
Ma'am, you have logged into two devices, ma'am. That's why it is getting
Yeah.
echo. Yeah.
But from my laptop, I cannot unmute myself.
No, but from your phone, you can lock the device, ma'am. You can uh, mute completely your device, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll- Okay.
Yeah, perfect, ma'am. Start, ma'am.
Okay. I warmly welcome everyone back. We shall proceed with the 14th session topic on referencing style and citation management tool from our same respected resource person, Dr. Anu Ans. So I request our esteemed resource person to kindly continue the deliberation of this 14th session. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so now after discussing about the research design, straight away I'm going to a session which is connecting to report writing. How we can, when we are conducting a research, it is very important to write the report or present the findings to a academic or research or a larger community. So when we are doing the presentation, writing report and presenting paper, presenting findings, whichever way we are going to disseminating the knowledge, we need to follow certain ethical guidelines. So I think all of you are remembering the ethical aspect that I have discussed in yesterday's class in terms of writing report. So when we are writing the report, we need to completely follow the certain ethical guidelines, including confidentiality, anonymity of the participants, then plagiarism, avoid piecemeal publication, avoid duplicate publication, then giving credits to the authors or the owners of information, that means authors of ideas or articles, whichever we are referring. There are many aspects related to writing part. First thing, it is a difficult task rather than conducting a research. We need to write a detailed report, but it should not be very elaborative also. It should be written in a particular way which is required to convincing the people. So, and the information should be very convincing mode, and it should be the proper language bias or error should not be there, and it should be in a structured format. There are a lot of elements in that thing. But with all those things, the major point is that how we can give the credits to the authors of different articles or different ideas that we have referred. We have taken from other researchers' articles. How we can give the due credits to authors or honors or other peoples for their scientific contributions to the knowledge sector. For that, we need to understand what are the ways to give the credits or what are the ways to avoid plagiarism. And there are different styles in that thing, different softwares in that thing. So it's a very large area or a big area to know each and every aspect. So it is not a simple task to understand and learn all those things. And all these referencing and citation styles are updating regularly by the respective institutions or organizations. So we can see that every style of referencing styles are having multiple manuals. That means multiple editions are there. The latest edition we need to follow right now. That means right now, if you are following the 7th edition of APA manual, probably in another few years, APA will come with a new edition. In that case, we have to shift to that particular style edition of APA for following the referencing and citation management. So that is a process where the researcher needs to be completely flexible in nature. That means where we are going to submit the report, to whom we are giving the report, or to whom, which journal we are going to submit the article, which conference we are going to present the research. Based on that, based on their requirement, based on which guidelines they are following, whether it's a AP or MLA or Chicago or Vancouver, anything else. So whatever they are following, according to that particular guidelines, we have to give the due credits to the authors for any information that we are using in our research. So that is an overview about the referencing style. It is not possible to learn this particular thing in one session or two sessions. A continuous practice is required. And learning or by hearting or listening to classes is not a strategy, not a single strategy to understand this also. How much ever you are reading, how much ever you are listening to classes on referencing styles, beyond all those, it is not enough for you to make a document pakka with the referencing styles. It requires the continuous practice, practice making errors, revising it, rectifying errors, again doing it, changing into different styles. It's a continuous process. Only through that process you can mastering in this particular area. So with that note, I'm starting with the session. The outline of this session will be a quick overview about plagiarism and what are the different means of or ways to avoid plagiarism, which include quoting and paraphrasing, then followed by referencing and citation management, majorly focusing on APA, followed by MLA and Chicago, and then referencing a quick overview about referencing and citation management software. If time permits, we'll show some sample softwares also. Then right now, moving to the first one, crediting source. Right now, the initial content is majorly going based on the API guidelines. And this is very common to all the discipline also. And then we'll the end of the sessions, we'll focusing on the MLA and Chicago styles also, how that particular two styles are differ from the APA. Now, crediting source. So what is meant by the term crediting source in research? That means none of the researchers, including me and you, it is not possible to do a completely novel research. That means we have to depend the existing knowledge. We have to take the information from the existing information. It can be book, or it can be a model, it can be a website, it can be a journal, it can be newspaper or a government report. It can be anything which is already published, which is already available to the public domain, which is provided or written by someone else as part of their work. When we are taking that information to support our studies, we need to give the credits. We need to acknowledge that authors or contributors for their work in our paper. This is all about the crediting sources. Without acknowledging, a single information cannot be placed in our document. It is a matter for our own published information also. For example, I published an article in 2023, and right now I'm working on a paper, which again I'm using some information from that, my own paper, which is published in 2023. I have to give due credits to me and my co-authors in my new paper. So if I'm not giving, it is known as self-plagiarism. The concept, the moment we are not giving plagiarism, the moment we are not giving the source to the authors or contributors for their ideas or informations in our paper or in our report, it is turning into plagiarism. Right now, you all are familiar with that. term for plagiarism, and both plagiarism and self-plagiarism is unethical, and it's an ethical violation in the field of research and publications. We need to be utmost careful that thing. If we are not giving the source, or if you're not acknowledging the credits to the right authors, then it can go beyond the ethical consideration. It can go to a legal situation also. If they are claiming, or if they are filing something against, I think they have used my idea in their paper without my consent or without giving the due credits to me, we are responsible to answer to that thing, and we have to face the legal consequence. So that is the importance of this particular topic. So now, crediting, so the purpose of crediting sources is to reduce the plagiarism or self-plagiarism in our document. And as per the UGC criteria or the respective organization criteria in social science field, 10% is considered as the similarity index, right? So that means up to 10%, there is a provision to use the content which is similar to other resources. That doesn't mean that I think we can copy completely from other sources, but up to 10 in a 100-page or 200-page document, 10% similarity will be there with other resources. That is quite natural, or up to 10% it is possible. Beyond that, it needs to be considered again and revise the document. And with that note, going to the next topic, what are the different ways to give crediting sources and reducing the plagiarism in the research scenario or publication related matters? First way of crediting source and reducing plagiarism is quoting, using the quotations, or paraphrasing the content from another resource to your document. Second one is citing reference in text. It is known as in-text citation. And third one will be referencing. Appropriate referencing, we need to give it. Now we are going with the first one, paraphrasing. What is meant by paraphrase? A paraphrase restates someone else's idea in the author's own words. That means I am reading a book on self-esteem as a concept, and I'm just understanding what is meant by self-esteem or what is explained by self-esteem in that book by that particular author. And when I'm writing that particular concept into my study, I cannot simply take as it is. If it is a definition, definitely I can take it. But along with the definition, I have to use the citation and quotation. Other than the definitions, we need to rephrase the content or idea from other resources into our own words in our document. It helps to summarize and synthesize information, emphasizing key points and comparing relevant details. And it helps to maintain a professional tone when describing concepts and findings. So, for example, when you're doing the review of literature, you will be reading studies with 5 to 10 pages, right? It has a clear structure: introduction, abstract, introduction, methods, then results, discussion. Will you be able to put all those information? Maybe your the idea which you felt it from that article is connecting to your research will be a small section. Maybe it is connected to one particular findings of that particular study. But when you are writing that findings in your study as a supportive element for your study, you need to rephrase it. You cannot use the simple, exactly same sentences that they have given. So you have to take the essence of their idea, the essence of their findings, and write it into your own way and then add it to your points. For that, better read the article multiple times and make the points what you want to take it from that thing. Small points. And then using that points, you write your idea, how you are considering that particular information from that study to your study. That way you need to paraphrase the content from other sources to your study. So it is a tedious process. For that, first step itself is to read the source carefully multiple times, understand what is exactly mentioning, and then maintaining a notes or pointing out the notes in your diary or Word document, which are most connected or important to discuss in your paper. And then after writing the points, Then you look at only on those points and then rewrite that particular idea using that keywords you taken from the other study into your own words. That is the best way to paraphrase a content. When you're doing that way, the level of plagiarism will be very less in that case. And usually what we are seeing that thing, copy pasting one line, one sentence or two sentences from another studies and giving a citation. Just because of giving a citation along with the copied document will not help you to reduce the plagiarism. It will show as a plagiarized document. If you're looking at the criteria for different plagiarism checking software, it is counting how many words are consecutively used in your study from another source. There are certain softwares which use even considering 3 words consecutively used. Certain softwares are using 5 words or 7 words. That means you are not permitted to copy 3 consecutive or 5 consecutive or 7 consecutive words from another source into your document. For that case, you need to make the points from other sources and then using the points, you have to write it. Do not copy, paste. Control C and Control V is not the option for writing a paper from another source to your document. And after paraphrasing, you need to cite the paraphrase content using parenthetical citation or narrative citation. That means in-text citations, the next method of reducing plagiarism that we will discuss in detail, where we will discuss what is meant by parenthetical citation and narrative citations, that we will discuss in detail in the coming slides. But along with the paraphrasing, you need to give the credits to the authors, either using parenthetical citation or narrative citations. Then you are safe from the concept of plagiarism. Then the next one is using quotations. Here, quotation in your paper, in your report, you can use direct quotations from other sources. That means if you want to state the exact line from another document in your document as it is without changing anything, you can go with the direct quotation option. And there are normally short and long quotations with respect to the length of the content you are adding through the quotation method. A direct quotation reproduces words verbatim from another work or from your own previously published work into your new paper. And the format of DQ, direct quotation, depends on its length. It can be classified as short quotation, where the length of the words will be less than 40 words, and long quotation if the length of the words if more than 40 words. And how to use a short quotation as per APA guidelines. There are different guidelines. You need to, if you're following some other guidelines or university guidelines, you need to look into that thing. But this is one of the majorly followed instructions for using the quotation based on the APA guidelines. Short quotations where the words are less than 40 words can be incorporated with the double quotation marks. And either you can add the quotation in the mid of the sentence or at the end of the sentence also. So if you're writing at the mid of the sentence, use quotation marks and cite the source right after without the extra punctuation unless needed. So you need to immediately after the quotation at the mid of the sentence. So you're writing that things in a particular so and so reported in a particular book as, then you are writing the quotation exactly the words from that particular books, and then immediately after it should be placed within the double quotation marks, and after the moment the quotation ends, there you have to give the in-text citations without any punctuation. So you can go with the parenthetical citation mode there. After the citations, you can continue with the sentence and you can end the sentence with a full stop. Then if the quotation is giving at the end of a particular sentence, use the quotation marks, cite the source and place the punctuation marks outside the parenthesis. You have to go with the parenthetical citation. After the parenthetical citations, you need to place the the right punctuation mark. Usually end of the sentence will be following with the period or full stop. You have to place that full stop or period immediately after the parenthetical citations. So this is about the short quotation. Now moving to the block quotation, where the quotation is having more than 40 words. In that case, you have to display the quotation text as a freestanding block without the quotation mark. It should not be connected to a paragraph or a sentence which is already given. You have to state the or give the quotation, the verbatim or the quotes as a separate paragraph, and which will be a freestanding word block without any quotation marks. So there is no need to give the quotation marks there. And starts this block paragraph, that one entire paragraph should be indented with a 0.5 inch from the left side of the margin. And if there are multiple paragraphs in that particular quotations, second paragraph onwards, first line of the that paragraphs can be again indented 0.5 inch, and double space the entire quotation lines, cite the source at the end, cite the source and page or paragraph number in parenthesis after the punctuation. When you are using that thing, as much as possible, you need to give the page number of the article or books that you are referring also. This is a very, very minimal informations, and there are further guidelines, and you need to each time, whenever you come across the situations, either quote use a short quotation or a block quotations, you need to refer the documents and go with the instructions completely. The major difference between this short quotation and block quotation with respect to number of words and the way they have to present it. Short quotation required a quotation marks. It can be associated or it can be continued within the sentence or at the end of the sentence. It is not required to keep as a separate paragraph. And at the if it is supported or if it is continued at end with the appropriate citations. If it is at the end of the sentence, after the citations, you have to give the appropriate punctuations. But if it's the mid of the paragraph, then the punctuation is not required unless the content is demand for a punctuation marks. When it comes to block quotations, it doesn't require a particular, doesn't require a quotation marks, double quotation marks. The entire text, whether it's a one paragraph or two paragraph or more than paragraph or two paragraph, should be standard as a freestanding word, and the entire paragraph should be indented with the 0.5 inch from the left side. And if there are multiple paragraphs in the quotations, the second paragraph onwards, the first line of each paragraph should be again indented with the 0.5 inch. And it should be double space and appropriate citation is required with the parenthetical formation. This is about the direct quotation. Now we have discussed paraphrasing and use of quotations as a mean to reduce the plagiarism, and in both cases we need to add citation also, index citation also. So now we are going to discuss about with how to give the index citations with APA style. Now, what are the general guidelines given by APA Publication Manual or APA for adding in-text citations in dissertation, thesis, or report, or paper, or presentation, wherever you are going to disseminate your results or findings or knowledge to other community or other people. First one is maintain an appropriate level of citation. That means cite only the works you have read that directly influence your writing, prioritizing the primary source. There are few points in that thing. First thing is that you have to cite only the work that you have read and included in your study. Do not randomly place any citations just to add the number of citations or just to add the number of reference list. So you need to appropriately cite the right source of information, right source with the right author's information to your document. And again, you need to give maximum importance for the primary sources. Even if you are reading an article and getting an information, and that information is taken by the respective author from another source. In that case, you need to again read the original source to understand more about that thing. And as much as possible, cite the original source or primary source into your document. And then if you need to add the secondary sources, you can write in a different way as cited in this thing. So like that, you are giving the both primary and secondary sources. So you need to give the importance for primary source of information for citation. Second one is all these general guidelines are more or less accurate or required for any kind of citation and referencing style, irrespective of APA or MLA or Chicago and all those things. But the way they need to write or add the citation process and the format will be different between each thing. So these points are important for any discipline and anyone who is following any kind of citation management also. Correspondence between reference list and text. That means in APA, we are using the author date citation system. And with that citation system, all the cited or all the in-text citation in a document should be added in the reference list mandatorily. And all the reference list, all the entries in the reference list should be cited in the body at least once. That means there should be a proper connection between the reference and in-text citations. There should not be any disparity with that thing. There should not be any discrepancy between the in-text citation and the reference corresponding reference component. The spelling, there should not be any spelling difference. There should not be any difference with respect to name or year or page number or volume number. Everything should be exactly matching. And then the next point, use of published or archival versions. Always you need to refer to the final published or advanced online version. That means, for example, you are referring an article, which is, when you are referring the article, when you're doing the review of literature, that article is published online first. That mode is published. And later when you are, at the time of submission, you realize that thing, that article is published in the volume also. In that case, you need to change your citation and referencing component based on the latest updation of that publication. That means published in a particular volume. If an article is published in preprint and then and the original article also published, but you are referring the preprint. But if there is an original article is published after the preprint, then you need to find out that original article and then you have to refer and cite and that article into a document and give the referencing point. If you are having an article with the archival version and the final version, final copy, corrected versions, you have to go with the updated version. What is the latest version? What is the latest version with a correction notice? That thing you have to refer. So use the published or archival version or the latest version for always referencing and citation in your document. With respect to primary and secondary source, I have already mentioned. Sometimes you may come across a particular information while reading an article, which have been originally proposed by another author. In that case, you need to give the importance to that author also, that citation also. Or you can go with the both citations. You can say that thing, so and so in this thing, so and so the respective year, and then as cited in. There is a particular format for that thing. We will discuss that also. You can follow that format also. But give the priority or importance for primary sources as much as possible. And as much as possible, read the primary sources for the original content. Error-free citation and reference. This again I have mentioned slightly. That means you need to ensure a consistent author name and publication years in citation and the reference list, and avoid the spelling mistakes or any kind of mistakes or discrepancies between the citation and the corresponding reference list. Then moving to the next topic, parenthetical versus narrative in-text citations. Two ways we can incorporate citations in our document. And in-text citations have two formats, either parenthetical or narrative. Parenthetical citations the author name and publication date appear in parentheses at the end of the sentence as per APA. If you're going with the MLA Chicago, the format you can use the same format you can use. That means whether the surname and year or surname and page number. In MLA, it is with the page number. So in that case, you can use that. Instead of year, you can use the page number in in-text citation. But it should be enclosed within a parenthesis. That means not the square bracket, parenthesis. And then there is a format for that using the parenthetical citation also. And then it should be enclosed with the parenthesis. And then it should be placed at the end of the information that you are placing it. If it is in a mid position of the sentence, after the parenthetical citations, you can give a comma and continue the sentence. But if it is the end of the paragraph or sentence, you can end the parenthetical citation, the content, idea, then the parenthetical citation, end that with the full stop. That is a requirement. And then if it is a narrative citations, you are trying to incorporate the citation in your sentence itself. There you are not enclosing the citation as a separate entity. Here you can write that thing, so-and-so conducted a study or so-and-so reported. So-and-so means this author's name. Here the example I have given, Blake and Bly in 1993 said that, then I can add the information from that particular source, what information they have told and how I am connecting that information in my study. I can add it after that citation, narrative citation. So if it is as per APA, if it is a parenthetical citation, we need to add the citation components within the bracket, parenthetical bracket, within the parenthesis. And if there is only one author, comma, year, you can keep it. After the parenthesis, you have to give the as right punctuation. But if there are more than one author, that means two authors, you can use the simple of and. Don't write and in words. You have to write the simple of and then you can write the second author surname, comma, year of publications. When it comes to narrative citations, if parenthetical citations, if there are more than two author, you can write the first author's surname and then et al, comma, year of publications. When it comes to narrative citations, if it is a one author, Blake followed by, Blake is the surname, Blake followed by the year of publication in parenthesis, said that you can write it that way. If there are two authors, you have to write the surname of both authors and separate that with the word and, spell out and A-N-D. And then after that in bracket, you can write, in parenthesis, you can write the year. You can continue with the sentence. If there are more than two authors, straight away you can write Blake et al. In parenthesis 1993 said that. You can go with that thing. So this is the major difference between parenthetical and narrative citation. When it comes to MLA and Chicago, the component of citations will be different. For example, MLA, instead of year, we are using the page number. So that difference will be there in the citation aspect. Now, the basic citation styles as per APA format, they have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criteria of 5 different types, author types, and what are the accurate parenthetical citation and narrative citation for each 5 types of author. So if there is only one author, the parenthetical citation, that means here you can see here, author type is one author, and parenthetical citation, the surname we can take it inside the parenthesis, write the surname, place the comma, then year of publication, close the surname. So this will be normally placed within the sentence, either in between the content or at the end of the sentence. So if it is in between sentence or mid of the sentence, you can place comma after the parenthesis, or if it is the end of the sentence, you can place full stop or write punctuation marks along with that. When it's the same thing, when it comes to narrative citations, the author name, surname of the author will be taken outside of the parenthesis, followed by the year within the parenthesis, and then continue the sentence. Luna in 2020 said that or reported that A and B is significantly related. You can write it that way. When it comes to two authors, take the surname of the authors, Salas and D. Agostino, comma by year of publications, but the author's surname should be separated using the and symbol. And when it comes to narrative citations, the author's name will be outside the parenthesis, but you can separate the citation with the and word, which is spelled out clearly. If there are three or more than three authors, for parenthetical citation, straight away you can go with the first author's surname, Martin, followed by ETAL dot, comma, et al. Dot, comma, 2020, and close the parenthesis. For a narrative citations, take out the first author surname and et al. Outside the bracket, and then place the year within the parenthesis. So this is about the individual authorship. Now, consider a document is written by, or the book is written by a group of organizations. There are two options. For example, WHO, World Health Organization, produced a report or published a report, and you are citing that document for your thing. In that case, you have to, there are two options. One is a group author with a non-abbreviations and a group author without an abbreviations. For example, WHO, World Health Organization's abbreviation is very known and which is a universally accepted one. In that case, you have to go with that particular mode. And there are some cases where the abbreviations are not given, or either organization is not using the abbreviation for the name of the group author, or it is not known. In that case, you have to go with the last option. So first we will discuss the group author with the non-abbreviations or with the abbreviations. In that case, first citations. When you are adding that information as a first time in the document, you have to spell out the full name of that organizations without any spelling mistakes, without any change in the original way they have used in their document. For example, here is National Institute of Mental Health, NIM. NIMH is the abbreviation. So you have to spell out National Institute of Mental Health clearly, and followed by a square bracket where you have to abbreviate the term NIMH, close the square bracket, place the comma, and then year of publication, and then place the parenthesis or close the parenthesis. So this is for the parenthetical citation. For a narrative citations, you need to take out the expanded for full form of the organization in National Institute of Mental Health outside the bracket, and use the parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis, bring the NIMH abbreviated form, comma, year of publication, and close the parenthesis. This is for the first time in the document. And in case if it is repeating, then that all the subsequent citation, you can just go with the abbreviated options. Abbreviated options for parenthetical thing, inside the bracket, NIMH, comma, 2020, close the parenthesis. For a narrative citation, it shall be, the abbreviation should be outside the parenthesis, and then year should be enclosed within the parenthesis. Then the next case, group author without abbreviations. So that means, for example, here Stanford University. They are not using SU as an abbreviation for that thing. If it is there, you can go with this particular mode. If there is no abbreviations, then you have to spell out completely. And there is no subsequent or first citation option there. Throughout the document, how many times you are using that thing, you have to use it completely. Stanford University, comma, 2000, which is enclosed in the bracket. And then that is for the parenthetical citation. And for the narrative citation, university name or the organization name can be outside, and then year of publication can be inside. This is the very basic rule of citation, index citation as per AP. Now, in addition to this, even if you are going with all these things, there are different occasions, different chances where we need to have some kind of deviation from the particular information given in this table. So that we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. Additional points to be remembered while citing sources in text. So first thing, if you are referring or writing one particular information by referring more than one author, more than one source, in that case, that means citing multiple works for a particular information, either with one paragraph or one sentence, then you need to go with the index citation. Parenthetical citation or narrative citations can be possible. Parenthetical citations, you have to go with the same rules given for the one author, two author, or group author informations in the previous slide. But each source can be separated with a semicolon. So here in this particular example, you can see Adams et al. 2019, which indicate that I think there are more than two author, which is separated with the comma, year of publications. Then the next citation is from the Shume and Schulman document, which is again, as there are two authors, we will be using and simple and the year. Then Westinghouse in 2017. Here we can see that thing. The document, the multiple sources, the three sources have been arranged in the alphabetical order. And if there are same author's document, then you need to, after alphabetical order, then you have to follow the year of publications. That means if Adams et al.'s two document you are referring, Adams et al. 2019, then this one and Adams et al. 2023 also, then in that case, you have to go with the latest year-wise, Adams et al. 2023 first, then followed by Adams et al. 2029, it is 2019, then followed by other thing based on the alphabetical order. Now, if it is having same author, but multiple documents published in different years. In that case, here is the author is Department of Veterans Affairs. There is first document they have deferred is document which doesn't have a year of publication. Then in that case, we can write N.D, comma. Second one is with 2017A. And same year they have two documents. In that case, you have to write 2017A, 2017B. If there's only one document, then you can go with the 2017, then 2019. So there should be a structure for this thing. So here, another option is that one author's three document or more than some sources of information, something which is already published in 2000, some document which is not published but no year of information is there, and some document which is under process of publication, that means in press. In that case, you have to write all those. N.D is first, then 2000, you follow the order. When you're going with the year of order based on the year of publications, go with the first one, then second one, like that. Then here I mentioned the opposite way. If there are same author's document from the same year or different year, you have to place the first published documents initially, followed by the latest one. So like that, here in press you can add. Now here another example, Caraway et al., who's written a published document in 2013, 14 and 19. That means three articles or three books have been written by Caraway et al. In 2013, 14 and 19 were referred and for the particular content. Then if this is happening in the narrative citations, you can simply write the same thing, but separate each one with the comma. Suleiman in 2018, the next author in 2012 and 17, comma, and. When before the last source, you have to add the word and in by spelling out the word exactly. Examine, you can continue like that. Now, citing specific parts of a source, that means for a book or a chapter or a chapter-wise book or a particular page number of a book or a particular conference thing or a particular table or paragraph exclusively or a slide. In that case, you need to specify the chapter after the surname of the author. There depends upon one author, two author, three author. You have to follow the same rule. Then the year of publication will be there, followed by the exact content or page numbers or paragraphs that you have referred. You need to add it. If it is a chapter, you can write chapter 3 for a chapterized book, or a book. Or if it is a page numbers, you can write PP 3 to 17. If it is just one page, you have to write P, then page number 3. Then paragraphs, you have to write paras dot 2 to 3. Then table, if it is a table, table with the number, table number. Slide, if it is from a presentation, you can write with the slide number. So like that, you have to cite the specific parts of source for a most accurate informations. Then unknown or anonymous author. So author is not known. Author name is not there. In that case, for the citations, you can take the title in the place of author. Title of the book or title of the article or title of the presentations can be taken in place of author. Spell out the title without any mistakes or changes from the original title. After the title, you have to use the title case for that thing. And after the title, place the comma and year of publications. Now, unknown year of publication, which I have already explained here. You know the author, but the year of publication is not mentioned clearly. This is mainly happening with respect to website or web page references type. So in that case, if the year of publication or in any other source also it is applicable, it can be happen. If the year of publication is not known, then after the surnames and comma, you can write end dot D dot and you can close the parenthesis. That means instead of year of publication, you are giving N dot D dot, that indicating that the year of publication is not known or not revealed in that particular source. Then translated, reprinted, republished or reissued days. So that means same document is translated into a new one. So original one plus the translated. Same article is republished, then original publication year and republication year. So that means author name, here you can see that in Piaget, comma, in 1966, given the original information with the publication, and then followed by the same content will be updated in 2000 with a new publication. So we are adding both year of publication, original publication and the republished information. So both year can be separated with a slash and then close the parenthesis. Number of authors to include in in-text citations. So for one, this already mentioned along with the first table, 1 or 2 authors include all authors' name in the every citations, but more than 3 authors cite the first author's surname followed by et al. In all citations. Then omit the year in repeated narrative citations. That means you are going with the narrative mode of citations and the citation is repeating in that same paragraph or same sections continuously. Then you can omit the year from the narrative citations. So you can just simply say so and so in this 2020 explain this particular concept. Then after 2 or 3 lines again you realize so and so also reported that this findings is more prevalent in one particular group of people. So in that second citation or all incoming subsequent citation, when we are going with a narrative form, year can be omitted. Just go with the surname option. First time you have to give it full surname as well as the year. Second time onwards, you can omit the year of publications. Then moving to in parenthetical citations, you need to use and simple ampersand and between the names. But in narrative citations, you have to write the word or spell out the word and clearly to separate the two authors. This also I have explained. When citing multiple works by 3 or more authors, include enough names to distinguish the reference and use et al. For remaining authors. Then work with same author and same date. That means here the example is given. Judge and Tamir Muller written a document on 2012, and same authors again published a different document on 2012, same year. In that case, you have to add the letter A, B, if required more, to differentiate both citation. And same thing should be connected in the corresponding reference entry also. And that means whenever you are referring a document and you are seeing that when a particular information is cited, that author is cited with 2012A, which means that he is referring two documents written by same authors, which is published in same year in that document. That is the reason he has given 2012A as a citation and referencing component. But in your paper, if you are taking only one document, you need to write only 2012. A, B is not required. For that document purpose, he has used more than 2 documents published by same author in the same year. But you are referring only one document. In that case, A, B, C, that separation is not required. So when you're copying the citation from other work, be very careful on what basis they have used the word A, B, C in their citation and referencing. Is it applicable in your document or not? Then authors with surname. Authors with the same surname. That means you are referring to document which is written by different authors, but they are having same surname. In that case, you have to use the initials, the first name and middle name if it is there, or the first names, initials, first letter followed by periods and then the surname. Then you can go with the next authors and another author with the same surname, T. Taylor. So this is the abbreviation for the first name of this author. So you have to make it very clear that you are referring to authors who have same surname with the different publications. So in that case, bring the initial names, first name, middle name, its initials or the first letters to make a clarity between two authors' name. You have to abbreviate the group authors. In narrative citations, you can just abbreviate. First time you can give the full citations and then followed by the abbreviations. Parenthetical citation, first time you can write the American Psychological Association full name, then followed by square bracket. Within the square bracket, abbreviated forms, comma, year of publication, close it. And again, subsequent citations, you can just go with the APA's abbreviated forms. If multiple reference share the same group author, introduce the abbreviations only once. If two different groups have same abbreviations, that means American Psychological Association and American Psychiatric Association, both are having same abbreviations. In that case, if you are referring and adding the sources from American Psychological Association and American Psychiatric Association, in that case, you cannot use the abbreviations to abbreviations in citation or reference component. You have to spell out each time. You have to spell out the full name of group authors completely to avoid the confusion. Then general mentions of website, periodicals, and common softwares and types that we created our survey using Qualtrics. So that is a website name. You can write the Qualtrics names inside. If it's a specific thing, you can go with the short URL. I searched the Journal of Abnormal Psychology for further studies. You can write the name of the journal itself. So these are the additional information or periodical additional things. So if you are referring to a particular website or a journal completely, then you need to go. If that means there's no author or there's no particular thing, then you need to think of all the software or an applications. Then you have to write the applications or web page or journal's name completely there. Then moving to, this is all about the reference citation part. Now we are moving to referencing. So referencing according to APA 7th style. So here, before starting the referencing, how to put the reference. Normally, we are keeping the reference at the end of the document, which will be started on a new page, and your title as reference will be placed at the central level. That is the usual way we start with the reference. Certain styles in APA, we are using the words reference for showing that particular sections. But in MLA, I think we are using works cited. Certain ways we'll be using bibliography. Certain times we'll be using different other terminology. As per the style you are following, you need to use the appropriate heading for that particular sections. As per APA, it is reference, which should be started on a new page placed at the central position on the top of the paper. And the other principles, the major principles of reference, as per APA, every reference will be having 4 components. In that first component will be author. That means who is responsible for this work. If it is a patented one, then you can write about the contributor, or copyright, then who is the copyright owner. So who is actually owning that particular thing. So for an article and books, which will be always connected to the author. But if it is a copyrighted thing, or a copyrighted image, or copyrighted audio or video, in that case, who is owning that should be considered as an author here. But otherwise, for a website, it should be website, who is owning that website name, you can give it, or the organization who is running that particular website, you can give it. Or author. If there is a specific author for an article published in a website, then you have to go with the author information. If there is no author in a website article, then you can go with the website name actually. So that there will be slight difference with respect to that first component. Book, journal, book chapter, conference proceedings, newspaper article, wherever our author is there, you have to go with the author. That is the first component. And then second one is date. When was this work published? Year of publication. Again, most of the cases APA is demanded for the year of publications. But when it comes to newspaper article, online or offline, or magazine article, where we need to specify the date and month, we have to go with that. Date, month, and year is required. Then the title of the work. Title, it can be title of article or title of chapter, title of article in a journal publication, title of article in a magazine or newspaper publications, title of chapter in a book publication, chapter is book publications. Then along with that thing, you have to add the periodical title. That means if we are taking the article from a journal or newspaper or magazine, followed by the article title of the article, you have to give the title of the periodicals also. That means title of journal name or newspaper name or magazine name, whatever is there required. If you are referring a book, then you have to that means chapterized book. In that case, or reports, you have to give the name of the book or report in that place. So when we are discussing about title, it can be article title or it can be chapter title, plus the journal title or magazine title or newspaper title, plus the book title or report title. Then the next fourth component is source of publications. Where can I retrieve this work? So there, for periodicals, you need to write about the journals, newspaper or magazines. Non-periodicals, that means for periodicals, you have to write about the details of the journals. which include the journal, volume, issue number, page number, then DOI or URL. If DOI means digital object identifiers. If DOI is there, you have to give the DOI. If there's no DOI, then you can give the URL of that particular article from where you received it. If it is a book, again, instead of journal name and all those things, you have to give the book, who is the publisher of the book, and place of publication is not required as per APS 7. Only the publisher's name is required, followed by the edition. Before the publisher's name, edition of the book also required, followed by the publisher's. You can full stop with the you can give the full stop before showing that thing, the information is over. If in case the book has a DOI, digital book, and it has a DOI, then you have to add DOI after the publisher's name. If it is downloaded from a URL, then you have to add the URL. So these are the different components required to add in the reference list. Now, the next principle of reference is punctuation within reference list entries. Use punctuation marks in reference list entries to group informations. There are certain criteria again that I think this is not possible to by heart at one line. You need to each time you have to refer it. Place a period after each reference element, author, date, title, source. 4 components we have given. Between each component, you can place one period or full stop to show that this component is ended there. But only for DOI and URL, do not give any punctuation marks or period after that thing, because it will alter the address. Then once you place that period or any other punctuation along with the DOI or URL, even if it is the end of one source, one element in the reference list, it will not redirect to the original document. Then you can use commas or parentheses between parts of the same reference of element within a component, within a particular element. That means all the details, and here you can separate with, if there is multiple authors, you can use comma to separate the authors. If there are volume and issue number, you can use parentheses to separate volume and parenthesis issue number. Like that, different places are there. We can use you are permitted to use comma and parenthesis in the reference list. Italize punctuation marks within an italicized reference element, but do not italize punctuation between the reference elements. So if you are using a comma within an element, that means for separating authors, if you're using comma, if that element is a italics option, then you can use that kind of punctuation also can be italicized. But normally with respect to authors information, it won't be italics. For example, usually we are italicizing the journal name and volume number and all those things. In that case, the journal number, journal name, comma, the volume can be italicized, but issue number should not be in italics. There are some particular criteria for that thing. If there is a punctuation placing to separate between the elements, that no need to be in italics. So these are the different points which need to be considered while you are adding the reference list. Then the next principle is accuracy and consistency in reference. This I have already explained in connection to citation. Maximum accurate information without any spelling error, without any change in the way of writing their title. You need to add the informations. And there should be a consistency of reporting in citation and referencing without losing one reference list, one entry in the reference is not cited in the content, or one cited document is not cited in source is not entered in the reference list. Now, the general guidelines as per APA for formatting reference: use author surname followed by initials for first, second name, like that. Determining the reference category appropriately, you need to clearly understand which kind of document you are referring. Are you referring a journal article or a newspaper article or a book or a chapterized book or a legal document or a newspaper article or a online media information or a apparatus or scale? Please be very careful what is the reference category of your document, your source. And then according to that, again, you have to format it. Each entry typically includes all 4 elements of the reference, which is including author, date, title, and source, which I have explained already. Then for ensuring accuracy, carefully verify each reference against the original publications. Do not just believe any random information about a source of information. You have to find out the original source of that information and then cite it with that particular details. The reference should be begin on a new page with the heading of reference in bold and centered option. Order entries alphabetically by author's surname as per APA guidelines. Then all entries should be double spaced. Apply a hanging indent of 0.5 inch. Hanging indent means first line of the reference, each reference list will be started from the left side margin. Exactly. That means which is flush to the left side. And the second line onwards of the same entrance list will be indented. For doing this, in Microsoft Word, you can go to paragraph options, more options. There you can click that small arrow in the paragraph options. That will give a new pop-up box. In that pop-up box, you can just go with the indentation option. There you can see the type of indentation hanging. Click on that particular option. There you can see hanging, first line hanging, single, justified. That 3 options you can see there. There you have to select the hanging option, and then the next column you have to select 0.5 inch. So ensure your system is using inch or centimeter as a measurement. If it is an inch, indent is always with the 0.5 inch, but if it's a centimeter, you have to take the corresponding measurement or equivalent measurement to 0.5 inch. That one you need to be very careful. Then if it is in a Google Docs, again, you can go with the format option for finding out this particular hanging indent. There in the format option, you can find the option for indentation. Click on the indentation. That will lead to further options. There you can find the option for hanging indent. So this is just added for your information where and how to do the hanging indent. Then APA journals use Arabic numerals for volume numbers. So wherever you are writing volume number, you have to use the normal 1, 2, 3. That means Arabic numerals. But keep Roman numerals in titles unchanged. If any article or certain author name or article name or book name or chapter name, any of the title has the Roman letters, then you have to use it as it is. There you can't change to Arabic numerals. Only volume number and issue number you can use the Arabic numerals. Page number you can use the Arabic numerals. Arabic numerals. Sorry, Arabic numerals. Arabic numerals. Then acceptable abbreviations can be used in the abbreviations. But before using it, you need to be very careful. Is that possible to use? Is it acceptable one or not? None of the references should be in bold option, and you need to use italics for certain elements. If it is a journal article, journal name, or if it is a newspaper article, or if it's a magazine article, that name of the journal, name of the newspaper, name of the magazines should be in italics. With the volume number, that also should be in italics. Issue number, no need to be in italics. Then, if it is in the case of book name should be in italics. If it is a chapterized book, chapter name should not be in italics. Book name should be in italics. So this is a rule for using italics in reference list. Now, general example of periodicals, that means newspaper article or magazine article, and then journal article. What is the common example for what are the elements and how to place it? The author, here you can see that I think this information is given in chapter 9 of APA Publication Manual 7th edition, page number 281 to 9, 10 and 11, page number 281 to 368. And quite 3 chapters they have used to explain the reference. That means you need to understand it is a very lengthy or very broad area of information. So please refer back. It is not possible for us to remember all those things. Even for me also, if for example, if it is quite a long number of years or almost more than 12 years, I am using different citations, different styles, or writing different papers and all those things. So in that case also, I'm quite familiar with the APA, but still, when I'm writing a paper or when someone is asking some doubt, suddenly I may have doubt. I may be confused. Is this the one right or the other one right? In that case, I will refer. That means it is not a shame on anyone to refer the original manual for more accurate way of information and writing or adding your citation and reference without mistakes. Always refer back. Keep your manual, whether it's a APA or MLA or Chicago, wherever you are, whichever style you are following to write your articles for citation and referencing management, keep that manual as your main source of information, always, either soft copy or hard copy. All the informations are available in website also. There are APA, you can get the book in a cheaper cost, publication manual, or you can depend to the university or college libraries for that thing. And the soft copy is also available in a paid mode. But all the universities and libraries are having that thing. So you can easily get it. Keep that soft copy or hard copy with you and then practice it. Make errors always. This is my humble request to everyone. Please don't read and by heart anything. Practice it, make errors, refer back to the document, and then find out what is the error you have made it, rectify it. That helps you to more comfortable, more expertise in citation and reference management. So with that note, we'll just go to the periodicals, different examples. Here for periodicals, we can write this where we written author. This is indicating the surname, author, surname, comma, the initials of the first name and middle name, which is separated with a full stop, comma, and symbol. You have to use the and symbol in the reference list for separating the author names. Then after that, you can give the second author. Then year of date. If it is a journal article, just the year of publications in parenthesis followed by full stop you can give. That one component, here also the component is ending, here also one component or element is ending. Then if it is a newspaper article or magazine article, you need to quote the year of publication and the month of publication. If it is a newspaper, year of publication followed by month and date is mandatory. And then if it is a group author, you need to name the group completely and then write it full details. Then the title of article, which is not required to be in italics. So you can see in this format, author name is not in italics, date is not in italics, title also not in italics. But title should be exactly a replication of the original title given by the source you are referring it. After the title, again, you have to place the full stop to show that that component also end. Then the last component is source, which has 2 sections, again, periodical information and DOI or URL. So title of periodicals, or it can be the name of journal, it can be name of magazine or newspaper, all should be in italics. After the title of the periodicals, there you have to follow the title case compulsory, and because it's the name of the journal or magazine, you have to follow that rule, and then comma followed by volume number, which is again in italics. After that, parenthesis need to be used to mention the issue number. that no need to be in italics. If page number is available, followed by a comma, you have to write the page number 5 to 40. Periodicals also same way. You can write that thing and followed by the URL. After this periodical informations, that means after the page number or if there is no page number after the issue number, you have to end that component with a full stop. Then again, DOI or your URL. DOI format is, as per APS 7, is https://doi.org/ then the number. So in till APS 6 style, it is only with the number. We need to copy only the number. Just write DOI:number. But from 7th edition, they have changed to keep the change the format of keeping the DOI with the full information. That is starting with the https dot all those information. This you can take it from the original published information, journal website or articles, soft copy, wherever is available. If it is a URL, the entire URL you have to place it as it is without anything. And at the end of the URL or DOI, do not give a full stop to show the component is end again, because the moment you are adding a full stop or any punctuation here, this DOI will be inactive. That means the purpose of keeping the reference in our article or dissertation is to verify by others whether the information is given right or not. And this is the easy way to go to the respective document that you have referred. So always ensure that thing, your DOI or URL is exactly same as it in the original source. So this is the example for a journal article with a DOI. As I mentioned, surname of the author followed by the comma initials. So author's name will be separated using an and symbol. Then after the author, the last name, full stop is there. It's already there along with the surname. If there is only one name after the comma, you need to place the full stop again there. Then year of information, which is in parenthesis format, then again give the full stop there. Followed by the paper name, language learning as a language use, colon, a cross-sectional, cross-long linguistic model of child language development. So as the author given the title, you have to place it. There is no need of any change. And then after that, you can put the period again. Then the name of the article, psychological review, which is in italics, followed by comma, volume number, till that italics should be followed, and then the issue number. If there is an issue number should be placed immediately after the volume number within a parenthesis, followed by a comma, page number, end the component with a full stop, and then place the DOI. So this is the journal article with the DOI. Now journal article without DOI, in that case, we may be having a URL. So everything else is same. Instead of your DOI, you can add the URL as it is. Then journal article in press. So that means you are referring an article which is under publications. In that case, till author it is correct. Then after author, instead of year of publications, you can write in press in small letters. And then you can go with the further title of the article and title of the journal or magazines, and then place the full stop and end the reference. In that case, there is no need of DOI or URL because it is under the process of publication. And we are showing in our document component as a in press. This document is in press. Now, journal article with a DOI, more than 21 or more than 21 authors. Up to 20 authors, you have to write the name of all authors in your reference components. But if you have any reference with 21 authors or more than 21, you need to include the first 19 authors' surname using the same format. And after the 19th author's surname, so not only surname, 19th author's name with the format of surname, comma, initials dot, insert and ellipsis. Ellipsis means 3 dots. So after 19th author's details, you have to add 3 dots, which is known as ellipse, and then add the final author's name with again the same format. If you have a reference list with 21 or more than 21 authors, up to 20 authors, you have to keep all authors' name without any mistakes. But if there are more than 21 or more than 21 author, up to 19 you have to keep as it is. Then after 19th author, place an ellipse. That means full 3 periods followed by the last author's details, and no need of and symbol or and word before the last one. Then the rest will be same. For magazine article, the year of publications will be added with the year, date and month of publication if it is available, and then you can go with the same protocol, same instruction as we followed the previous journal article. Then newspaper article as similar, the date and month is mandatory. And if it is an online article, you can give the URL. If it is a hard copy thing, you can just omit that thing. Then the books and reference, which will be having a different format. Here, author information will be in the same line if it is a authored books. But if it is a name, a group of author also, again the same rule you can follow. But if it is an edited book, that means multiple authors are there and the 1 or 2 editors are there in that case, then you need to write the, instead of author, you have to write editor, comma, their initials. So here editor's first name and then followed by middle name and second name's initials. Then in bracket, you have to write ED. So if it is an author, we are going with the surname option. If it is an editor, we are going with the first name followed by the initials of the first and second name. In bracket, we have to give the abbreviations for editors. Capital E, D, dot. If more authors are there, E, D, S, dot. So that way. And you can separate different authors with the symbol of and. Then here will be same mode. Title of the book should be in italics. That is one major difference between journal art, periodicals and book. Periodicals name will be in italics. Here book's name will be in italics. If it is a journal, that means article title will not be in italics. And if it's a chapterized book, again the title title of the chapter will not be in italics. Then followed by publisher's information and DOI or URL if it is available. And publisher's information, only publisher's name is required, place is not required. Authored book with the DOI, author name, year of publication, and book name in italics. Again, if the book name, it should be exactly same as the book name given by the author. If it is a title case, you have to go with the title case or this particular month. Then followed by the edition, if it is available. If there is no edition, you can leave these options. And when you're writing the edition, you have to write second, first, third, like that. Use IST or ND or RD, that normal connotation for the using the second, third, fourth, like that. Followed by small letter ED. Small letter ED is the accepted abbreviation for showing the edition of a book. Capital E and D is for the abbreviated form for editors. Please be very careful with that thing. And then full stop, publisher's name. And if DOI is there, you can give the DOI information. If there's no DOI, if it's a hard copy book, you can omit that thing. Authored book without a DOI, that means print version. As I mentioned, you can, rest everything will be same, but you can omit this particular information. Authored book with editor credited on the book cover, then in that case, you have to first write the author's name here and then book name. And after the book name, you have to write the editor's name. So editor's name is not keeping as the beginning. If there is a authored book with editor. In that case, after the title, we will be going with the initials followed by the surname and then the full name and then the abbreviation for ed dot comma. Then one volume of multi-volume books. Then you need to add those information. There are particular criteria. From here, I'm just slightly skipping certain information. It's too much different sections are there. So you need to be very careful what are the different options given that thing. So for your understanding, I'm just spelling out, not going in detail with the way they have to write it. It is explained very detailed in the book. So you can just understand what are the different component or different concept or context you need to look for further way of writing the reference. One volume of a multi-volume book, then books in a series, diagnostic manual, any kind of diagnostic manual, for example, DSM, diagnostic manual of mental health disorder, or ICD, international classification of disorders. Those kind of things. If it is a diagnostic manual, there's a particular way of writing it. Dictionary, treasures, encyclopedia. Most of us are using multiple times dictionary or encyclopedia for adding informations. There is a particular way of adding references for that also. Religious work, if you are referring to Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, or any religious work, then there's a particular format. You have to refer. I'm not going in detail with that thing, but just be aware that thing, there is a format for that thing. You need to refer the book and find out that thing and do the original or follow the original requirement. Then edited book and chapters. There is a slight difference will be the edited books and chapters. You can just go with the author information first, followed by the year, title of the chapter, and then the edited book information in. You can start writing in EE editor. So this is the last name, editor. In bracket, you have to write ED. Should be capital, and then the title of book, page number, publish name. In the title of book will be in italics, followed by URL. And also, if there is multiple editors, EDS should be used. This is one example given here. Same example in the books I have given here also. The author's information, as usual, we have explained the previous cases, followed by the year, title of the chapter, full stop. Then you need to write in the editor's name. First name, G dot Y dot, the name, then and the next editor name, then followed by EDS dot, then followed by cultural, the book name, the edited book name, which should be in italics, its edition and page number, all those things you need to give it. Then followed by the publisher's name, URL, if it is there, you have to give. If not, you no need to give it. Then if it is in a press, you have to write the publishers. You have to write instead of the URL, you can just leave with the publisher's name. Then reference for reports and gray literature, particular format is there. And reference for sessions and conference sessions and presentations. This is one important area we all need to know that thing. This is very rarely we are going with the reports and gray literature, but if you're going with the reports or if you're referring any reports, you have to go with the particular information and their author, date, title of the report, and publisher name. It can be government department, it can be an organization, anything. Then it's almost similar with the book reference style of the book. Then followed by conference session and presentations, presenter name, surname, then followed by the initials, and then the date means which should be complete date, year with the month and days, then title of the work, type of contribution that you can again presenter or the writer, that you need to be very carefully written. Then conference name and locations in detail. There are again rules for writing the title clearly, how to mention the type of contribution and all those things that you need to refer and find out that thing. Then conference information with the DOI URL if it is available. Then symposium also almost same line of this conference sessions, presentations. Then followed by unpublished dissertation or thesis. There is a particular format. For example, author, year of completion of the work, the title of the work. Then after the title of the work, in square bracket, you can write unpublished doctoral dissertation, unpublished master's dissertation. Like that, you can write it. Then close the square bracket, full stop, the university name. Then for a published dissertation thesis, then here you have to go with the where it is published. If it is published in Shodhganga, then you have to go with that thing. So here, any published dissertation, for example, published in Shodhganga, instead of this particular method, you have to go with the author, date, and title information, and then followed by the title, you can write in bracket doctoral dissertation, name of the institution awarding the degree, and then or title of thesis, in bracket master's thesis, name of the institution awarding the degree, close the bracket, full stop, and then when you're writing the source, their database name should come or archives name should come. That means Shodhganga name or that particular web details should come with the URL. So if it is unpublished, this name of institution will be under the source. When it's a published one, name of institution who's award, whichever is awarding the degree will be going along with the square bracket where the doctoral dissertation or master's thesis. There is no need to write unpublished. So this is a way you can separate or show clear demarcation with respect to your source, whether it's an unpublished dissertation or thesis or published dissertation or thesis, which is meant for doctoral studies or postdoctoral studies or master's studies, whichever is appropriate, that you can write it there. Then now I have listed a few, but there are many other examples also. Reviews, unpublished work and informally published works, data sets, computer software, mobile apps, apparatus, equipment, test, scales, inventories, audiovisual media, online media, web page, website, and legal materials. All these have specific guidelines and format for reference component. So all those things are not possible to discuss here with the time constraint, as well as even if we are discussing, it is not possible to understand easily. So you need to read. Whenever it is not, even one reading, it is not possible to understand. As I told you that thing, whenever you come across with a particular reference source, if it is matching to data set, take the book manual and then understand how the data set should be included in the reference list and apply that thing. That is the best way if you're going with the manual options. It is a quite tedious task, but without that, we cannot go with the publication or submission of report. Legal materials, that means which include laws, government reports and all those things. There is a difference in APA style for adding the reference list for legal materials and legal references. And that legal documents include, it can be a law, it can be an act, or it can be a policy, it can be anything with respect to legal concept. So in that case, specific section is there with the further information, you need to refer that thing. Then the next one, we are moving to MLA. I think our time is already 5:07. Now we will quickly go with the MLA style of writing and Chicago style of writing. As similar to the APA, I will not go in detail too much for a 2-hour session and too much for anyone to understand also. So I'm giving the minimal informations which you can refer further and get the details. For starting that, MLA, which is, okay, before that, APS predominantly is used in social science disciplines, psychology, social work, or healthcare professionals, and whichever organization or journals following the guidelines of American Psychological Associations, they are following the APA guidelines. And in India, many of the social science department and universities are following APA. It's up to your department and discipline. You need to fix whether you have to go with the APA or any other styles. And if it is for a language-based study, definitely it will be MLA style of writing. Then if it is a science-based study, it will be IEEE. There are different styles. So we are not going in that one at all. So please be very careful. If you are going to submit a thesis or report to your university, you need to understand which style is followed by your department in that particular university that you have to align. If you are making a paper for a journal and that journal is following APA style, you have to go with that APA style. And suppose after the first submission that article is rejected, you made everything with the APA style of writing and management reference, everything. But unfortunately, that paper got rejected, and next time you're identifying a journal which is followed by Vancouver style or Chicago style, you need to shift. There's no way out. You need to shift from APA to Chicago or Vancouver for submitting your paper to that journal. So always be aware what is the style followed by the respective journal or university before you writing or submitting your paper or report. Okay, now moving to MLA. This is predominantly used in humanities discipline, especially in language-related papers, which is provided or published by the Modern Language Association of America. Currently, 9th edition is running, and which is published in 2021. With that same information, APA is published by American Psychological Association. APA publication manual is published by American Psychological Association, not Psychiatric Association, American Psychological Association. The latest edition is 7th edition, which is published in 2020. And now this is with the 9th edition, 2021 release, published by Modern Language of Association of America. So if you need more information, you need to visit their website or sources and find out the further information for this particular style. It requires two main components: brief parenthetical citations within the text. That means MLA styles are not that much following the narrative mode of citation. They are going with the brief parenthetical citation within the text and a detailed work cited. I already mentioned that thing. In APA, we are using the term reference for showing the reference list. But here, we will be using the term work cited at the end of your paper on a new page at the top, centered, bold option. Then in-text citations as per MLA, what are the guidelines? MLA use an author page number system. APA use a author date system. Here, author page number system. That means after author surname, you have to place comma, then followed by the page number of the respective information. Then the citation should be appear in parentheses at the end of the sentence before the period. So they are giving the instruction for parenthetical citations mainly, and single author, which is included in the author's last name and specific page number. And here one more thing, the author name and the page number no need to separate with a comma. You can just separate with a space. That's enough. Here Smith space 45. That is the mode for or format for single author parenthetical citation, which is enclosed in the parenthesis. Then author, if it is a multiple page, you have to write 45 to this thing or 45 comma this page. That way you have to write it. Author in text, even though they are highly recommending for parenthetical citations, they have given the option for the narrative citations. Smith noted that citation styles vary in bracket. You can give the page number. So it's not along with the page number. It is end of the sentence or end of the information you are giving the page number. In APA, we can see that in Smith, immediately after the surname, the year of publication will be in parentheses, continued with the sentence noted or reported, so on, so like that, and then it can end with the sentence. But here the page number will be adding at the end of the sentence. Immediately after, there will be a period also. Name will be hang in the beginning of the sentence. Multiple authors use and for two authors, Smith and Jones. If there are two authors for parenthetical citations, here we can use the word and. In API, it is simple only. So here you can use the word and then followed by the year. For three or more than three author, use the first author's last name followed by et al. Then the page number. Same options. Instead of year of publication, you can go with the page number. Then no page number. If any document which doesn't have a page number, for example, a website page or anything, there is another option. If the source has no page number, such as website or anything, omit the page number altogether. That means just the surname is sufficient in parenthetical and narrative citations. Then the component of reference, or that is known as works cited in MLA. What are the basic rule for that thing? General formatting, center the title, work cited at the top of a new page, and entire entry in the work cited should be double space, and you have to use a hanging indent and alphabetize entries by the author's last name. Or if there is no author's name, title of the work can be considered in place of author's name. So this information is quite similar to APA reference also. One difference is that reference list, instead of reference, you will be adding the word work cited. Rest all information is same. Then the core elements in MLA reference list is author, surname, comma, first name, then title of source. The instruction is there. It's in italics for books, quotation marks for articles or web pages. Title of container, title larger wall, example book, anthology or journal name in italics. Other contributors, editor or translation done by whom and all those things. Versions required. Versions may be edition or volume or all those things. Number, again, volume, issue number, publishers details, organizations responsible for production. Publication date, day, month, year or year and year. Location, page number, URL, and DOI. These are the different components, core elements required to add in MLA style of referencing or works cited thing. Now, I have just listed two examples for MLA reference section or works cited sections. Basic source of example, that is book and journal. Further, I recommend all of you to read whenever read the original source to understand more about that thing. The work cited for book as per MLA will be Smith, John. Here you can see the major difference. In APA, we have used the initials of the first name and middle name after the surname. But in MLA, we are using surname, then the first name and second name if it is there. Full name should be there. It should not be abbreviated. Followed by a full stop. Then the title of book in italics, publisher name, year of publications. Again, this is one of the major difference from APA. In APA, year of publications will be placed immediately after the author's information. Here it will be at the end of the entry. Then for journal article, Do Jane, Do will be the subname and Jane will be the first name, followed by full stop. Then the title of the article, which is not in italics. After that, the journal, which is in italics, followed by volume. You have to write VOL, then the number, VOL dot tol, comma, issue, you have to write number, comma, 3. So here also you can see a difference. In APA, immediately after the journal, after the thing, we can write tol in bracket parenthesis 3. That indicates volume is 12 and issue is 3. Here in MLA, we need to write VOL dot 12, comma, NO dot 3, which are indicating volume and issue number. Followed by year of publication, then followed by page number 45 to 60, then the database and DOI. So all those things are required. Then we'll move to the next one, Chicago style. This is widely used in many academic disciplines. Many journals are using and is considered the standard for US style in book publishing, and which is published by University of Chicago Press. Again, latest edition is 17th one, and which is published in 2017. So those who need to know more about the Chicago style of writing, you have to refer the original manual provided by University of Chicago Press, 17th edition, which is published in 2017. And this Chicago manual of style offers two distinct citation and reference management system, notes and bibliography, primarily for the humanities discipline, and author date primarily for the science and social science discipline. So here they have given two options, notes and bibliography, which is meant for humanities discipline. And if you belongs to science or social science discipline, they are following the author date citation format. The two forms of citations, notes and bibliography, use superscript numbers in the text that correspond to the footnotes at the bottom of the page or endnote at the at the end of the document. These are paired with a comprehensive bibliography at the end. So first thing, for humanities journal or humanities disciplines, those are following Chicago manual style, they will be using, instead of author date or author number system, they will be using numbers in a superscript manner, which is corresponding place immediately after the text in the document, and followed by that thing, the explanation, the detailed source of that particular cited work will be given. Either can be given as a footnotes. If it is a footnotes, every page should be having footnotes for all the cited work in that particular page. That means if 5 cited works are there, you can number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that particular page with a superscript option immediately after the respective content. And then as a footnotes, you have to give the complete bibliography, source of information for each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 index cited document. That is a one option. If you are not going with the footnotes, some journals will specifically say that I think footnote is not required, you have to go with the endnote option. In that case, you can continuously write with the 1 to superscript with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, if it is repeating the first reference list again, citing it again, you can again give the number 1. So you will be having 1 to 20 cited documents in your article, and then at the end of the article, as a separate page, on a separate page, you can write the bibliography as a heading, and then you can add the reference details in detail. There's a one style. Within that itself, two options are there, and superscript numbers followed by the document information will be cited with the superscript numbers, followed by footnotes or endnotes. The second option, author date, use a brief parenthetical citation in the text, author, year and page. Here the combination of author, year and page for Chicago style, which is a combination of MLA and Chicago style author date and author number system. This map directly to a reference list at the end of the paper. In this case, instead of bibliography, a direct reference list comes under the comes at the end of the paper. Then general formatting rules, document layout, use 1-inch margin for all sides for Chicago style, use 12-point font size, Times New Roman. All those things are applicable in the AP and MLA also. I just skipped that thing. Paragraphs and indents should be formatted properly. Every paragraph should be indented with the first line with a 0.5 inch, and block quotation also should be indented. Page number should be given. Capitalization or the rule of capitalization should be followed. Rule of italics should be followed completely. All those things are there. All those things are applicable in the reference section also. Now, bibliography and reference list formatting, specific orders are again as similar to the previous two things. Alphabetical orders are there. Sources are arranged alphabetically by the author's last name. If no author is listed, use the title as in the same place. Hanging indent is required. First line of the citation should be flush left, and all subsequent lines are indented with a 0.5 inch. Author names, first author name is inverted. That means last name and first name. For source with up to 6 authors, list all names. More than 6 authors, list the first 3 authors followed by et al. Option. So there is a difference from APA. The APA, it is connected with the 21 author. Then if there is more than 21 or 21 or more than 21, up to 19, you have to include then ellipse options, 3 dots, and then followed by the last author, you can continue. But here, if up to 6 authors, you have to list all the names. More than 6 authors, write the first 3 authors' name with the same format and then followed by et al. And then you can continue. Punctuations in the bibliography, in main elements, author, title, publication details are separated by periods. That is also almost similar with the APA or MLS style. Every component should be separated with the periods. Footnotes and in-text citation format. First note, when using the notes and bibliography system, the first time you cite a source, provide the full details, author, title, publisher, year, page number in the footnote, and subsequent footnotes, if you are repeating the same citations in different pages, you can omit certain informations. Only you need to give the author's last name, shortened title, and page number, which will help to save the space. Then author date citations, index citations require the author's last name, punctuation year, then author name, space, punctuation year, separated after that a comma, then page number. So here you can see that thing, Smith, then space is there, year of publication, comma, page number. This is the style or format for author date citations. Now, we are moving to the almost last section. I think I have tried to explain, or I could explain a quick explanation or some details about APA, MLA, and Chicago with respect to citation and referencing management in terms of how it will help to reduce the plagiarism. I try to summarize the information maximum, but I know there is a limitation for this thing. It's a very vast area, and it is not possible for anyone to concentrate the sessions continuously as all with a technical aspect. And please refer back to that thing. And this much I have explained how we can do it manually. Right now, there are multiple softwares which help us to do the same citation and referencing referencing aspect for our thesis and article or publication purpose. But before starting this section, one slide before I'm explaining, I just want to suggest you one thing. At least one style of writing, either APA or MLA or Chicago, which is predominantly used in your discipline, that you need to familiar with manual way of doing it. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you to understand whether you are doing in the right way or not. So here, it is quite important for you to learn at least one style which is predominantly used in discipline, and then understand the entire process components by making errors and then rectifying it and referring it and then rectifying it. That way you understand it clearly, and then you can think of shifting to a software system, because 100% we cannot depend to any software. Even if you're using the software, we have to literally go through the citation and reference management. Just 1 minute. Amma, in the class, I'll call you later. Okay, so if you have some kind of familiarity, the way you can do manual citation and referencing based on at least one style, then even if you're using the citation software, referencing software, it is easy for you to cross-check and find out the mistakes if it is there. So always I recommend to start with the manual learning and then practicing it at least for 1 or 2 papers, and then you can shift to softwares. Always, as similar to any field of research, as similar to any other field, the technological advancement or advancement with the software will help us to save time, ease our work, cost-effective way of working. All those things are possible if you're using the citation, any advanced software for citation and referencing management also. So citation management software collects and organizes citation from various sources, compiling them into a bibliography. So the first and most important advantage of using a software for citation and referencing management, all your sources you can, or initially before sources, when you are starting your review of literature, you can collect the review of literature using the help of this software. That itself is a big advantage. And second thing, after the collection, you have whatever you are collecting, you can keep it in one place, one account, or one document of the respective software. And if you're opening that particular thing, you will get all the sources, all the details there. And then you can remove the sources which you are not included in your study. All those things, I can finalize your sources, and that document you can use it for reading and understanding. You can read the full articles, you can save the full articles there. Instead of opening multiple PDF document, or instead of looking into multiple print document of your journals or anything, everything you can save it into one place, and you can parallelly open different document, different pages by shifting the options in the software. So that is a process which help us to ease our work. We no need to open each time PDF to look into the matter. All those things will be easily, we can manage it while using the software for this particular purpose. And second, after that, for reading, understanding, all those things, beyond that, we can use the citation while writing and referencing while writing. Along with the writing, you can use the same source to incorporate the citation. The moment you are incorporating the citation, automatically the corresponding referencing also will be added. So if you're going with the APSL, every software will be having the provision to cite and reference, do the referencing based on multiple style of writing. APA 6, 7, all the versions, MLA, Chicago, Vancouver, IEEE, and most of the citation style will be available within the software. And that helps you to write your paper or thesis with the appropriate citation style by selecting the respective style. If it is an APA, select the APA 7 style, and then you can continue writing. Okay, you have done that work, you have done the citation, along with that referencing also done, fine. And you finalize the paper, and you are submitting that paper to a journal. And as I mentioned earlier, suppose your article is rejected, and then when it comes to a new journal, in case if that journal is following a new particular style or different style, instead of APA, MLS style, you need to again connect that your document to the Word document with the software where you have saved all the sources, and then shift the APA style to MLS style. One click, your entire citation and referencing will be changed to new style. But after that also, slightly you need to do minor editing. Sometimes in APA, the parenthetical citations happening. After the parenthetical citation, full stop is there. But in some other Vancouver, if I'm not wrong, Vancouver style, the citation is with a number, the superscript or superscript number system. In that case, it is supposed to be right after the punctuation. So that punctuation you need to shift before the citation or after the citation when you're shifting to one style to another style. That kind of minimal work is there, but that will not take too much time also. So the advantage of writing using software for citation and reference management is quite helpful for you to save your time and amount of work. And if it is a good software, then the errors also will be less. They will be updating all those things. You can clarify with them. There will be support team. There will be updation with the new styles. All those things are possible. But now with respect to the payment part, whether the software is paid or not, there comes the issue. Most of the documents, good softwares are not Mendeley, all are paid one. Sotero is the one which we can depend, which is not a paid one, but again, we need to be little more careful while using Sotero, whether every citation and referencing is coming as per the style. Because EndNote and Mendeley quite fairly give the correct citation and referencing management. Still, we need to cross-check that thing. So those things are paid one, and Sotero is an unpaid one. You can install with the Google Chrome, your Google web, the web page or your search engine. And then other options are there: LaTeX, BibTeX, RefWorks, reference generators are there. AI tools are there. Many AI tools are there. Grammarly also help us in that thing. There are many other. I have just listed few only. So everyone will not be familiar with every tools actually. So whichever is feasible for you, whichever is available for you, whichever is more convenience for you, you can opt one software and you can start using it. But just keep in your mind, always you need to have a cross check after using the software for citation and referencing management with the original guidelines given by the respective manual. For that, you need to have a basic idea about the style of writing, citation and management, at least one style, which is predominant for your discipline. So with that, I'm just winding up today's session. So I hope all of you able to follow me. Please read and understand. Please practice it. Otherwise, quite difficult topic, this one. The session is open for the forum. Any quick queries, I can clarify right now. But I know certain times, certain queries may not be within this particular knowledge or this topic. Certain things may not be possible to clarify then and there. It requires further reading and understanding. But I will try from my side maximum to clarify your doubts also. Please put your comments or thoughts here right now. Ma'am, the session is open for the discussion.
Yes, this is a beautiful and informative session, Madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Today's session were highly informative and beneficial. I hope all the participants might have gained better understanding of qualitative research design, survey methods for collecting data, proper referencing techniques. The way you explain, sorry, the practical insight with example on APA, MLA, Chicago style, and citation management tools, which will greatly support and beneficial to our academic writing and research work. I sincerely express my gratitude to you, Madam, for such engaging and knowledgeable presentation. Now the floor is open to discuss, to interact, and any clarified your doubts. Please, all the participants are requested to ask any query to the expert. If you have any doubt, then you can raise your hand or
write your query in the chat box. This is a beautiful chance to clarify your doubt. Please.
Okay. I think Dr. Saroja has asked one question. Is there any Indian style of reference? Why APA Chicago style? To be very frankly, I didn't think of all those things. And APA is one of the largest association in the field of psychology, and Chicago is in the one of the important university which is majorly focused on humanities and social science disciplines. And it's all the well-established organization, and they are already started this documentation way ahead back. It is not a immediate or sudden things happen. And it is not like that. There are many other styles. So if I'm just listing out IEEE for science, Vancouver itself, multiple sections are there. Then I'm not able to remember all the names. There are many. So why APA and Chicago and why not Indian style? I don't know really any Indian styles are already there also. So being into psychology profession or mental health profession, we are following APA. Or being into social science profession, we are following APA. And if I am writing to a journal which is followed by Vancouver style, I have to follow that thing. So there is no point of asking why not Indian style. Someone either someone who is really interested, some organization who is really interested can think of and can bring up with a new style. Really, I don't know if any style is existing from Indian context also. But lastly, most of the universities are following well-established universities and organizations in India are following well-established style of writing, which maybe come from different other countries. Reference software are paid or free. Name some free software for reference. As of now, I know Sotera is the free software, and Grammarly has some kind of minimal functions are possible with the unpaid mode. I didn't export too much on the unpaid mode because I have started to use with the mentally in my career, then shifted to EndNote. So currently I'm completely depending on with the EndNote. So I didn't explore that, which is the most useful. So what I heard and what I understood from my colleagues and all those things, Sotera is a good platform which you can easily plug in with your Google web page.
Ma'am, there is also a question in the chat box. It's the software you saw, ma'am, it is useful for plagiarism also. There is one question.
Yeah, okay. I'm not familiar with that thing, ma'am, actually. You can explore it, actually. You can explore it. You can, this one area which we need to explore every day, actually. If you don't have one option, then what is next available? So the discussion with the colleagues, discussion with the similar mind people, reading on articles, reading on different sources, website will help us to understand which is the best option.
And
Hello,
there is also one question, Dr. D. Srinivas Rao. Madam,
Yeah.
could you please suggest the best AI-based citation management tool?
I didn't get you, ma'am. AI-based?
Base citation management tool.
AI-based citation management tool. I'm not that much familiar with that area. So I didn't explore it. So I told you that I have used the one paid option and not. So I didn't require for any further thing. But definitely I can refer and get back to the organizing team if any other tools are available or not. I didn't search for that thing. But
excuse me, madam.
yes.
This is Dr. Isaac. Can I pose a question, please?
Yes, please, sir.
Probably when you started off, you were talking about demonstrating something regarding using quotations, madam.
Yeah.
Quotations are allowed to be used directly.
Yes.
But then there are short quotations and long
Oh,
quotations.
yes.
Right, madam? How to
Yes, sir.
incorporate them with double quotes and cite the index without punctuations? That is one question of mine, madam. You
Can you
said you would
repeat that question, sir?
demonstrate it.
Can you repeat that question once again?
How to incorporate
Yeah.
a short quotation
Uh,
with double quotes
uh.
and cite the index without punctuations?
Okay,
You
there
said
is
you would
two.
demonstrate it, madam, because I asked this question for number of scholars who are participants.
Okay.
Yeah, madam.
Okay, you need some demonstration, right?
Yeah, madam. That
Okay.
should help the scholars more than
Let
those who
me
have done that.
see. Let me see
Yeah.
if I have any document as of now. Um, Give me 2 minutes. I think I don't have a document right now with me. What I can do is that I can make one sample format for that thing and I can send it to the organizing team. They can share it with you. Is that okay? Sir? Ma'am, is that okay, ma'am? They have asked some demonstration for or sample format for quotation, how to use the quotation and place the punctuation there. So there, I don't have a document already ready with that thing. So what I can do is that I can make it one sample format and share it with your team and you can pass it to the participants. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
I think there is no any query.
There is
from
any
the
other query, ma'am?
participant. No, there is one. Is it possible to install such software in our laptop? It is common question.
Is it? Is it?
Is it possible to install such software in our laptop? This question came from Meenakshi S. Maths.
Okay. So software
Is it possible to install
installs?
install such software in our laptop?
That again, for example, EndNote software, when we are downloading or when we are going to buy the software, they will ask what kind of system we have, whether we are having the system with the latex or which background it's working software. It's an Apple or a Mac system. Then depends upon we need to buy the respective document. We have to buy that, and that will help us to install it. Otherwise, normally, it is possible to install. They will provide the different software, different version for installing to different types of system. I didn't face any difficulty so far. Whichever system I use, I have installed and not. It is not directly with the Mac. It is a normal system only, not the Mac system. So I can install it. And my colleagues are also using it. But even other data analysis software is also giving two versions for Chromebook, for laptop Windows, for MacBook, all different sets they are giving it. So we can go with that thing. Whichever is our system, based on that, we can go with that.
Yes. And then I think this is the last question from Dr. D. Srinivas Rao.
Okay.
That, Madam, which citation style and citation management tool would you recommend it for interdisciplinary social science research to ensure accuracy, academic quality, and avoidance of plagiarism?
which citation style and citation management tool would you recommend to interdisciplinary social science research to ensure accuracy, academic quality? Sir, actually, there is no one style for any discipline. That word predominantly used in social science discipline. APA is predominantly used in social science discipline. So it is always connected which university you are working or which college you are working, and that college or university and the respective department. If you're working in psychology department, or if you're working in economics department, if you're working in language department, so that department following what style of writing, you need to follow that thing. Or in the case of publication or presentations, again we need to look for the guidelines given by the respective journals. Even there are journals from the psychology, they are using Vancouver style of writing. There are journals from psychology and social work using MLA style of writing. There are language-based journals which are using APA style of writing. So it's all a mixture. It's completely up to the place where we are going to send our report. Is it a journal? Is it a conference? Is it a university or a college? And then check their guidelines. There is no style is highly good or accurate. Everything is good only. Every citation is good only. But everything has its own negatives, or the process-wise difference is there. So we need to find out your department or discipline is following which style. Social science discipline is using APA, MLA, Chicago, Vancouver, Harvard. Vancouver itself, 2 styles are there. So right now I can figure out 5 to 6 numbers, right? So it is not possible to say one particular style is good for one discipline. Second thing, with respect to citation management tool, from my experience, EndNote and Mendeley are the 2 good, which we can quite depend, and accuracy is there, quite well accuracy is there, and they are giving the updated version, but these 2 are the paid one. Beyond that, Sotera is also a good one. But other than that, I didn't experience or I didn't tried anything. So I'm not able to say like that. But EndNote and Mendeley are the good one, which is quietly accepted in the publication or journals or accepting.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Digital material, date and time. Okay, that is quite important. If you're taking information from a digital online interview or something, the date and time is required to mention. If it is a website, also the different styles have been given different instruction for making that the thing. When you download it, when you retrieve that information, that also important. So you need to give that retrieval information also. Depends upon the type of document, type of the source, you need to be check that.
I think there is no more query. Oh, there is
I
one.
think most of the queries related to which is the good tool, I think.
Yeah, referencing style depends on university. Oh, this is not a question.
Depends on university and department. Correct. It is completely depends upon university and department. In university itself, there will be difference. Social science departments will be there. Engineering department is there. They are having different their own disciplinary preference is there. So you have to check that thing. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I think there is no more question. Is there any participants who want to clarify your doubt? Okay, we come to the end of these 2 days, 2 session, 13 and 14 session from the same respected resource person, Dr. Anu Ans. Once again, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Anu Ans for sharing valuable, knowledgeable knowledge and making both sessions more meaningful and productive. And I show my special thanks to all the participants for your active participation and to make today's program a grand success. Dear students, tomorrow we have the day 8. We will have another 2 sessions in different area. Please be joined in time. With this few words, I conclude today's session. Thank you all, everyone, for your active participation.